$100. Go under the hood, Saturdays at noon on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. Got Karnowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corner, Nelson driving, baseline, and a two-handed throw-down dunk. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with two hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball, the Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
Dave Ramsey helps you handle your money. Weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, AM 1030, FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. It's fight night in Milwaukee as Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders square off in their last debate before the tie-breaking South Carolina primary. Sanders won the New Hampshire primary in a landslide, and Clinton edged Sanders in the Iowa caucuses. The Republican field is now a little smaller, dropping from 17 to 6. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest.
The field has narrowed. All the Republican candidates now fit on one stage after Carly Fiorina and Chris Christie's poor showings in New Hampshire have prompted them to leave the race. With 9 days until Republicans head to the polls in South Carolina, Donald Trump is feeling even more confident about his ability to take on Hillary Clinton. Among Clinton's New Hampshire disappointments, news that she lost female voters 44% to Bernie Sanders 55%. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Some said they never thought they'd make it out alive as their cruise ship tossed and turned in 40-foot waves sailing through a hurricane. This woman says she had a panic Titanic moment.
When the captain came on the actual, loudspeaker saying to us, get back to your rooms now, he didn't sound very convincing that it was going to be okay. So it just, and everyone around us started crying, saying they couldn't breathe.
They did survive and finally docked safely in New Jersey last night. Cruise line officials apologized and promised a thorough investigation to find out what went wrong and whether the captain was getting the correct weather information in real time. The family of a 12-year-old Cleveland boy shot and killed by police while waving around a toy gun is outraged after receiving a bill from the city for $500 for ambulance services. You can almost smell the fear on Wall Street ahead of the opening bell. Overseas markets set a scary stage. European markets dropped sharply as concern grows that the mounting market turmoil could hit the brakes on the global economy. Kate Winslet says she won't be among those boycotting the Oscars despite the diversity debate. She wants to be there to watch her good friend Leo DiCaprio win. This is ABC News.
ABC Radio presents Made in America with David Muir, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts.
It's the blue and yellow can, a household staple made right here in America. WD-40.
Everybody has a can in their house.
Orlando Moreno at WD-40 headquarters in San Diego. The secret formula, nearly the same since it was invented more than 60 years ago.
It's a special thing.
CEO Gary Ridge, business doubling in the last 10 years, now sold around the country and around the world in 176 countries. This is World News Tonight's David Muir. That's Made in America.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to come in and speak with someone?
Negative, Control. With Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, you can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online.
Copy that, QL1. But if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there?
They're out there, all right. Their award-winning client service is beyond anything I've ever experienced.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
While some Olympic athletes are expressing concern about the Zika threat in Brazil, others say the real danger is the water. ABC's Tom Rivers has the latest from the foreign desk.
The Australian team's medical director says water quality will be more of a threat to the health of athletes in Rio than the mosquito-borne virus. Dr. David Hughes says cases of pregnancy aside, Zika usually results in just a mild infection. 80% of those infected often get no serious symptoms. As to the water, Hughes says measures are in place to minimize the risk, but you can't make that risk zero. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Kim Kardashian, like many new moms, is overwhelmed by a second child, saying she never gets any sleep. Kardashian admits mom was right when she said having one child is like one and having two is like 20. She tweeted this to fans from her closet where she was breastfeeding one of her children secretly so the other wouldn't know. Kardashian says she knew two would be hard, but she had no idea how hard. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgrun, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgrun. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community. 35 on a panel decide where the money goes, and that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. Got Kornowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corners, Nelson driving, baseline, and a two-handed throw down. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with 2 hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball, the Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS, Shelton, and iFIBER ONE Newsradio. I'm Dale Hubbard for Jeff Slakey, and Carol Gardner is in for Carol Gardner. Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing swell. Sports notes for everybody. Huskies lose a Pac-12 battle down in Salt Lake City against the Utes, 90-82. Not much defense last night. The 4 freshmen and a senior now in 4th place in the Pac-12, and started out like a house on fire early in the season, but have been struggling as of late and lead the nation in the most amount of foul outs. in a game. Crazy. So, I mean, like by 20 people. So, Lorenzo Romar still teaching the game to the youngsters. All right, that was the only Pac-12 game of the evening. In other sports notes for you, though, we had some high school regional district action going on last night. 2A West Central Sea King districts in the boys action. River Ridge with a easy win over Kingston, 79-49. 3A West Central Southwest District action. North Thurston posted a win as well, 59-49 over Auburn Riverside. And in the 4A West Central District 3 tournaments around the region, Olympia Bears 70-50 over Todd Beamer. Puyallup over South Kitsap 59-55. And Timberline squeaks one out against Thomas Jefferson by a final of 50-45. My favorite deal here, Carol, I got to talk a little bit about the Iditarod.
Oh, yeah.
Sled dog race.
You ever seen one in the real life?
I've never gone. And I'm always reminded that I got invited by the wife. I think she was the widow of the founder of the Iditarod. And she had some connection with Bremerton. I was working the morning show in 1980, right?
Whoa.
She came on the radio, called live and said, well, you're welcome to come on up and cover it anytime you want. And I never did. I got an invite from like the originator, you know.
So have you ever even been to Alaska and
I've been to Alaska.
Seen the dogs in the summer?
Yeah, all that. And so I want to go one day.
Yeah.
They've got low snow for the second year in a row in Alaska.
Really?
Yeah, hard to believe.
We got all the snow.
They've got to change the trail because of low snow. As always, they begin their ceremonial fan-friendly start through the streets and trails of Anchorage. But this year, the race's chief executive officer says he's worried there won't be enough snow in Anchorage. And so Stan Hooley says the ceremonial start will be held in some fashion and is hoping Mother Nature will cooperate in the next few weeks. They've only had 74.5 inches this season so far. This year, they've only is normal. So this year, they've only got 25 inches. So they're like 50 inches below average. That's a lot. And meteorologist up there, Lewis Ingram, says no snow in the 7-day forecast. So they'll decide tomorrow whether the official start will be just north of Anchorage as normal or whether they'll have to move the start to Fairbanks like they did last year. So that's the dealy bob there. And we have sports.
Weather.
We have done sports. Now we do weather. I got to remember how to start the weather. I've got to.
You could sing a tune.
I
can hum it a little.
I could sing. I could do a lot of things, but here we go.
No snow here.
Okay.
All right. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's 46, a little foggy this morning for your drive. Some rain, and the rain showers early will turn into a more steady rain and continue through the evening. And we'll have a high of about 50 today. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, looks like we're going to have rain through the next 4 days or so. But the highs are going to be about 50, mid-50s.
But a lot of rain.
Okay. And right now it's 46.
All right. Very good. I think I got to click something else now. There. We're working it. It's all falling into place as Jeff had promised.
Yes.
All right, a very good morning, 6:12, Thursday, Daybreak, with Dale and Carol and Coco and Riley and Jerry.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
I'm Chris Jacobs with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. NFL Media's Albert Breer is reporting that according to language in Saints quarterback Drew Brees' contract, $10.5 million of his $20 million base salary for 2016 is now fully guaranteed. This, coupled with $10 million of already prorated money, presumably assures that Brees and his $30 million cap number will be sticking around under center. Veteran linebacker John Beeson has decided to retire after 9 seasons in the NFL. The 3-time Pro Bowler played most recently with the Giants. The NFL's top draft prospects are now on the clock as they descend on Indianapolis for this year's NFL Scouting Combine, and only NFL Network is there live. Complete coverage of the 2016 NFL Scouting Combine, presented by Hyundai, starts Friday, February 26th, only on NFL Network. This has been NFL Network Now. on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Right now at Napa, when you buy 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional oil for just $3.59 a quart, we'll give you either Chase Elliott, Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, or Casey Kane free by mail. And wait, what? Well, that makes more sense. We'll give you a bobblehead of either Chase Elliott, Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, or Casey Kane free by mail. Valvoline for just $3.59 and a free bobblehead. That's Napa know-how. General states pricing, taxes, and recycling fees extra at participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 2/29/16.
Any Jane Doe can tell you that Geico could help you save. But since money talks, we just ask the savings instead.
Greetings and sun salutations. I'm Jane's Money. And I never knew my self-worth until Jane switched her car insurance at Geico.com. Those 15 minutes built me up to real savings. Geico's been helping customers save money like me for over 75 years. So take that to the bank. And namaste.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
.615 on News Radio, iFIBER ONE Newsradio, KMS. Dale and Carol, good morning. Checking our iFIBER ONE Newsradio.com website. You can, number one, you can watch and listen to us live.
That's right. YouTube.
On YouTube. And
well, it's on our front page of our website.
Yeah. So you can click on there and go. We've got a lot of stories that we're covering, including Carol.
Including the election information. So I'm going to find out if we have any information on Hoodsport if you want to go to the story.
Sure.
And talk about a little bit about it.
So there was a recount or an additional count to find out what's trickled in yesterday about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So whether that's become available or not from Karen Herr's office will remain to be seen. But so far, 4 of the 5 school districts' maintenance and operation replacement levy proposals were passing initially, and an emergency medical service property levy for Fire District 18 at Lake Cushman was passing. Also, the first count of mail-in ballots showed these results for the school district levy. So North Mason's district levy was passing with about 62% yes vote. Hood Canal was the one that was in danger of not getting through, and a replacement for expiring educational programs, maintenance and operations, now passing with 59.79% of the votes to 40.21. But my understanding was supposed to be 60%.
Well,
to make it through, and now it says here it's passing.
Yeah, on the auditor's site it has 60%. So do you round it up?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over 1,000 votes, yes, 680 nay, and that equals 60 to 40.
Yeah,
right now.
And those are newer numbers than what we had from before.
I believe so.
They aren't. What you just said is if 1,000 votes, it was only 950 votes.
Okay, yep. And this was counted yesterday, a little bit later in the day.
Okay.
After our story.
Does Miriam Knight, is that in there? There's North Mason, they're passing.
Miriam Knight is passing at 66.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So there is that. And of course, a big story this week is the C Street landfill cleanup project. And not only will the project take years, but we understand it'll take a couple of years for them to begin the cleanup.
Yeah, that's what the gentleman from DOE was saying, that's the hard part, gathering all that information and trying to figure out what's there, what isn't there, what can they do.
Yeah.
Which, for some reason, I thought they already knew what was there.
We thought that there was some ecology studies already being done the last couple of years.
15 years,
since Hall Equities had moved into the area and brought attention to the C Street dump. So very interesting. We have Steve Goins coming in later this morning on Focus on Shelton. We may touch on the topic a little bit.
We won't put him on the spot, but maybe
but he may have some insight that we are unaware of, and we'll talk to him a little bit about that and see, because that's going to be part and parcel of our news moving forward here for a few years. It's important. Not maybe as important as the Flint water situation.
Not as in a emergency situation.
But you have to think maybe some of, with the amount of torrential rain that we get here. I'm, of course, hopeful that it's not the case, but could that not have maybe seeped down into our water?
Well, I just can't imagine if there's not some kind of solid barrier.
Yeah.
How could it not go any farther?
Yeah.
It just says, oh, this is what the edge is. It's only, I can only go so far. I can't go any. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
And it's a long-standing historical dump site. It's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. We'll watch it and we'll stay on top of it, and we'll provide you insight and information as best we can. There was a really big crowd at the hearing on Tuesday, and so it's on everybody's mind. It's very important. We'll follow that story as well. Sheriff's Cold Case Unit seeking help in 2 death investigations. Another good story to check out on the website, and some speed limit changes that have come to the area.
Right.
So you can go faster in some areas than you used to be able to, and slower in others.
Right.
Be
and
careful.
they're having another meeting tonight, a public information meeting about another speed limit area.
Change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all on our local tab. On our regional tab, we have which is both under the news tab. We have some other stories. Retail sales in the third quarter. South Sound's growing fast.
I like it.
Yeah. Our friends at the Business Examiner Media have this story for us. Statewide 7.8 increase year over year in the third quarter, 2015, July 1st through September 30th. Total of $35.8 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Very good. Well, there has been a lot of growth in and around the South Sound. So slowly but surely, we're going the right direction with the economy. That certainly bodes well. Suspect that was sought in that Woodland Trail stabbing in Olympia is still on the loose, as far as we know. The victim was taken to a hospital with serious injuries on the incident that happened. According to the Olympian, officers arrived finding the victim on near the trail on a sidewalk, but the perpetrator, still at large.
Yeah, he got away. So that trail sort of winds through downtown, not quite downtown Olympia, off to the side of like the main downtown. It goes under bridges and through the woods and everything.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah.
And there's a lot of places for somebody to take off and get lost.
Also, the secretary to the Department of Transportation has been named after the previous secretary was fired. So that announcement was made yesterday, and it is Roger Miller will serve as the acting Secretary of Transportation. That has taken kind of center stage yesterday, and of course, limited time, want to get a lot of bills and initiatives looked at and passed, and this has kind of put a little bit of a stick in the spokes, so to speak. They've kind of stopped down, and there's been some finger pointing across the aisle. We're all out of legislators this week, right? We've talked to both of them and have reported in.
Yes.
So we'll have to get an update next Tuesday with Representative Griffey, and then Wednesday, Representative McEwen would be checking in with us. But for now, you can get caught up on it on our website under the regional news tab, under news. I keep wanting to just say KMAS, but it's iFIBER One.
iFIBER One News Radio, yes.
Okay, I don't say it out loud as often as you guys do now.
Right.
I've gotten out of the habit.
So it's like,
how easy I got out of the habit.
Yeah, exactly.
Scary,
when you pick up the phone, it's hello, not
hello. All right. What else are we doing? We're giving away Valentine dessert auction tickets today.
You do have that available for tomorrow's the big deal. Tomorrow at lunch, you're going to be emceeing the thing tomorrow?
I'll be the auctioneer.
Auctioneer.
Yeah. So singing for my soup.
Singing, because you're going to get lunch for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not just inviting you over for lunch. You
I got to work.
Do some work.
That's okay. It's always a lot of fun. Very. What I like about it is it's really fast paced, and people get it, and they know why they're there, and they don't have to nickel and dime them. We can start at a good level and get to the point, and let's get that dessert off the table and get to the next one. They are incredible, mouth-watering, very tantalizing. And if you get there early enough to go peruse them and sniff them, and then you get your favorites that you're looking at. And
right.
When it gets up to be the auction item, it goes pretty good. It's pretty enthusiastic.
You get a paddle and raise your hand.
They just wave their hands. I don't think there's any paddles. In years past, we've done everything. And there's some gift baskets there and getaways and romantic things and all that. In years past, we've even given away puppies. Not given away, but auctioned off.
Really?
Yeah. And how cute is a puppy for a Valentine's gift?
That's true.
Melt your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything could happen tomorrow. A lot of surprises. Carrie Lemon's going to come in and visit with me off air as soon as we get off this morning and give me the list of stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow and how it's going to go. And so if there are some surprises, I'll be privy to that today. I'll find out.
All right. We might know tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you can't tell us, though, can you?
No, it'll be a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a trust factor with Carrie, whether she trusts me with that information.
Well, and then you're on the radio.
I'm Liz Lips, Louie. So, probably better for her not to tell me any secrets about that, because that would be oopsie. We don't want to oopsie at all. So all that and whatever else comes our way. We did get an advance notice. Dr. Alex Apostle visits on Fridays with us. He's unable to attend, but we have Jim Judson, the athletic director.
Oh, is he?
Coming in tomorrow. Great. And there's a new league alignment starting next year.
Right.
For the next 2 or 4 years. I can't remember which. And they've got a big spring school community pride event scheduled again, and a special announcement is going to be made during that ceremony.
Okay.
So he's going to come in and take Dr. Apostle's place and talk a little bit about the sports side of things at Shelton High School.
Excellent.
Yeah. Got some big contingent of wrestlers qualified for some district playoffs, and the Shelton High Climber ladies tonight going up north, Auburn, one of the schools up there, playing in their first district match playoff game in years.
Right.
So very exciting. And Sean Wells, our athletic sports director guy, is excited about getting up there and covering
he's been doing a great job covering all the wrestlers on their season, and the girls and boys basketball. So
yeah. So
it's all on the website. You can follow us along on the website. We have it on Facebook and Twitter.
Please do check us out on the website if you would. Most of you would. Okay. Also, just briefly, I'm kind of waiting for a cue from the computer. I'm thinking it's going to fast forward me into where I need to be here. So, are we just supposed to fly until 6:30?
No, usually we take a break, and you do. It's your
awesome.
Manually.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
I feel right at home on JohnLScott.com.
Hi, this is Dawn Pinnell from John L. Scott Real Estate here in Shelton. For a while now, I have been saying welcome home and sharing with you some great listings and some hopefully educational and interesting items of riveting radio real estate topics. We're moving our time slot to Friday at 8:55, right at the end of the morning show. I hope you will continue to listen and that you will contact me with any of your real estate needs. I would love to help you say, I'm home.
If you care about what's going on around here, subscribe to the Shelton Mason County Journal. You will learn something useful about your neighborhood, upcoming events, your community, and coworkers. Laugh at the comics, cry with the obituaries, learn about local concerts, games, and new businesses. Being informed is worth it in so many ways. Subscribe today. Call 360-426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com. Check out the Journal's garage sales, too. Try it. You'll love it.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. The Mason County Senior Center is taking a van to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show Friday the 19th. More than 300 exhibitors with home and garden tools and accessories, plants, furniture, art, and more. It's $42 for members, $47 for non-members, includes transportation and event tickets. Call the Senior Center for details. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
All right, it is 6:30, and it is news time with Mary Lynn Foster, Carol Gardner, Dale Hubbard, and Daybreak this morning. We welcome you to a Thursday, the 11th of February.
On iFIBER One.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgrun, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgrun. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak Show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community. 35 on a panel decide where the money goes, and that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Kobe visits LeBron for the final time. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. Wednesday night saw LeBron James and the Cavaliers play host to Kobe Bryant for the final time in Bryant's storied career. and James had no intention of sending Kobe off with a win.
Here comes LeBron. The Cavs have numbers. LeBron goes all the way, lays it up, lays it in, gets fouled by Randall. And LeBron has given the Cavaliers an 82-62 lead.
On WTAM, as LeBron's 29 points helped the Cavs down the Lakers 120-111. Kobe finished with 17. Kyrie Irving had 35 for Cleveland. LeBron and Kobe will face off for the final time on March 10th. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson and the Warriors keep on making history.
Bounce pass by Booker, stolen by Klay Thompson, who's checked back in. Klay with the dribble front court. Nobody stops him, and he'll just take the three and knock it down.
On KNBR, as Golden State now has the best record in NBA history through 52 games at 48-4. They were 112-104 winners over Phoenix. Staying in the association, the Spurs entered the All-Star break in style.
Down to 5 seconds. Kawhi Leonard will start to make a move. Pulls up from 21 feet. That shot is good. Kawhi Leonard nails it with 9/10 of a second left in the game.
On WOAI, as that Kawhi Leonard shot gave the Spurs a 98-96 win over the Magic. In college basketball, it was deja vu all over again for number 14 Iowa State when they visited Texas Tech.
10 seconds to go. Down 3, Thomas got it off, missed it. Smith the rebound. And for the second straight year, Texas Tech upsets Iowa State in Lubbock.
On ESPN, as the Red Raiders held on for an 85-82 victory. NFL news, warrants are expected soon in the incident involving Bills running back LaShawn McCoy. McCoy reportedly assaulted 2 off-duty police officers in a Philadelphia nightclub last weekend. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
This is not an election cycle where middle-of-the-road Democrats are going to stir up enough of the base and enough excitement and enthusiasm that they're going to seriously win elections. And that's the thing that Republicans have figured out and Democrats have yet to learn, which is that elections are not about swaying so-called undecided voters. They're about stirring up the base. The base will bring the undecided voters along with them. They'll do it through social media. They'll do it through talking to their neighbors. They'll do it by talking to people in the workplace. But you've got to energize the base.
For News Radio, 1030 KMAS, Shelton, iFIBER ONE News Radio Sports. I'm Dale Hubbard. A lot of basketball action. It's all playoff city now, baby. Shelton Lady Climbers in action, going up to Auburn, and they'll do battle. Sean Wells will be covering that match for you. We've got wrestling results coming your way this week as well. And the Gonzaga Bulldogs are in action tonight on the radio against Portland. And then they go to St. Mary's, a tough team that did knock off Gonzaga the first time around. Gonzaga's not in the top 25, having a few struggles this year, but they are on top of the WCC. So a big important game for them on Saturday. They don't want to overlook a Portland team whom they beat quite handily the first time around, but it's a road trip. It's a big trip, and we'll have both games for everybody here on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Also around the region in high school action, last night, 2A West Central Sea King District's River Ridge with an easy win over Kingston and advances to the second round of the district playoffs. 3A West Central Southwest District action, North Thurston with a 10-point victory over Auburn Riverside. In the 4A schools, West Central District 3, Olympia Bears move on with a 70-50 win over Todd Beamer. Puyallup over South Kitsap last night, 59-55. And Timberline got by Thomas Jefferson, 50-45. And the Huskies lose in a high-scoring affair. Defense was optional last night against Utah down in Salt Lake. That is sports. Carol Gardner.
Good morning.
To my starboard.
Yes. All right. Well, good morning.
With weather.
Good morning, Dale.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a little foggy outside.
Boy. Oh, you got that.
Maybe in here, too.
Yeah.
On my drive in, it was a little foggy. It's 46. It's going to be turning into rain showers and then more of a steady rain this afternoon. And it's going to continue through tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But we're going to have highs in about the mid-50s. So it's going to be a little warm, but just rainy. Right now, it's 46.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
It is Daybreak. iFIBER One News Radio with Dale for Jeff and Carol, 6:39. And it is the 11th of February. Valentine's Day is coming up Sunday?
Yeah, it's on a Sunday.
So a good opportunity for people to do a romantic brunch or something like that, or maybe spend the weekend going somewhere or doing something. And then we want to remind folks, of course, the annual United Way Valentine dessert auction and luncheon. Maple Glen providing the lunch tomorrow at the Civic Center. We will give you a chance at a pair of tickets in just a little while.
Sounds good.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll save you about $40 to go ahead and bid on some dessert.
That's true. That's true.
So you're thinking all the time.
Yeah, you are thinking. Authorities are looking for a suspect who stabbed a man on the Olympia Woodland Trail. The Olympian reports that the victim was taken to a hospital with serious stab wounds to his abdomen yesterday. Police say he's expected to recover. Police also say the stabbing took place in an area off the trail and underneath the road, and it's unclear if the victim knew his attacker, and the attacker is still at loose.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
No, that is not good. That is not good.
Also, what else is not good is, oh, there we go. When I look for Northwest News, and I keep getting like news from Kansas City or something. But now I'm back on track again.
All right.
Whoa. All right. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the director of corrections, the Department of Corrections director, and how much he knew or didn't know about these early releases that had been going on for several years. An outside investigator hired by a Senate panel to assist that Chamber's inquiry into the early release of thousands of prisoners in Washington state says his team has reviewed more than 54,000 documents so far. The brief appearance of Mark Bartlett, a partner at the firm of Davis Wright Tremaine, before the Senate Law and Justice Committee last night was the first public meeting with him since he was hired at the end of the month. So they're looking into this pretty deeply and hope to have, I guess, a clear idea of how it transpired and who knew what when.
Yeah, it's going to be an ongoing story until we get that figured out.
It really, truly is. Yep.
The Senate has rejected a bill that would eliminate Washington's new rule allowing transgender people to use bathrooms and locker rooms in public buildings consistent with their gender identity. The legislation failed just by one vote.
Also, as we'd mentioned earlier, authorities looking for a suspect who stabbed a man on the Olympia Woodland Trail. That man is still at large, and it's unclear still if the victim knew his attacker.
The Washington Senate Ways and Means Committee has decided to take a new approach towards fixing the way the state pays for public schools. Lawmakers sent to the Senate floor a measure that would require the state auditor to get involved in figuring out whether school districts are using local levy dollars unconstitutionally.
Okay. iFIBER One News Radio Daybreak with Dale and Carol, 6:42.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
It's the day to celebrate love. Yes, Valentine's Day. Lucky Eagle Casino encourages you to follow your heart and be sure to wish that someone special a happy Valentine's Day. A message that comes from the heart and Lucky Eagle Casino.
A Valentine's poem from Whitney Chevrolet. A friend like you happens once in a blue moon. I wonder what was there that brought us so close so soon. Happy Valentine's Day to you from Whitney's Chevrolet.
Help create healthier futures for kids when you visit Papa Murphy's all this month. Purchase a heart for $1 now through February 29th. All proceeds support healthy cooking and nutrition programs at a local Boys and Girls Club.
Donate today and give kids the tools they need to live healthier tomorrow.
You can help over 1,000 local kids in Western Washington learn about fresh and healthy food choices. Doesn't that make you feel all warm and cheesy? Purchase a heart today.
From the Boys and Girls Club of Western Washington.
And Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
We love hearing from our listeners and sharing their stories with you. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Today, we're featuring a Wisconsin man who collects toy trains and loves to share his passion as he's living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Floor space in the farm shop fills up fast, so look to other surfaces in the building for storage. The vertical space of your walls can handle cabinets and a place to hang the tools. Build freestanding shelving and use plastic crates to store equipment. You can even hang crates from the ceiling with an overhead sliding system. Put what you can on wheels, such as portable work tables, stacked welders, and tool caddies. To make even more room, throw away the stuff you don't need. Our shop tip of the week was brought to you by Morton Buildings.
Morton Buildings, the best in the construction business since 1903. If you're ready for a new farm storage facility, insulated workshop, hobby garage, horse barn, or custom home, Morton will provide the building you'll be proud to call your own. Contact us today during Building Value Days. It's the biggest sales event of the year. Don't miss the opportunity to get the best building at the best price. Find the building of your dreams at mortonbuildings.com.
Buck Guthrie has been collecting toy trains practically forever. Since he was 5 years old, he knew that someday he would have his very own toy train museum. Fast forward a few decades, he's still collecting trains and has turned his dream into a reality. Buck and his wife Jan restored an old dairy barn on the family farm in Argyle, Wisconsin. He turned it into his beloved toy train museum where he could share his love of the railroad with the public.
Usually a collector collects one kind, like an O-gauge Lionel or an American Flyer, or they collect HO. But I'm building a museum, so I just collected everything, and you'll see everything here. The layouts inside this barn are awesome because I used all different sizes and scales of the trains.
The collection is also part of railroad history. He has some trains that date back to the Civil War. Metal was scarce during World War II, so manufacturers would make toy trains out of soup cans. He says it's interesting to look inside a train car and see Campbell's soup stamped inside. The variety of trains is amazing, but Buck says he really enjoys creating the animated layouts. He uses appliances and spare parts to make every scene come alive.
There's a chicken rotisserie hangs on the ceiling, which makes the airplanes fly around at the airport. There's a med-flight helicopter coming off the hospital. Cars are driving down the streets. There's a house on fire with real water coming out of the fire truck. There's a home there with a pool party going on, and people are actually swimming in the pool.
During the summer, you can ride a train around their property. We'd like to hear what makes your place special. Tell us about it at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, KMAS.
Well, indeed. We hope that you're listening to Daybreak. We know we are.
Yes.
All right. What do you get for your loved one for a Valentine's gift that is different and unique?
Well, it's tough buying that perfect gift.
Sure is. And a lot of people stress about that this time of year. And we've got a lot of dessert ideas for everybody tomorrow in the dessert auction and luncheon. But one of the best commercials during the Super Bowl was Doritos.
They're usually very clever, though. I have to say I didn't particularly care for that commercial that much.
You didn't particularly care for that one?
No. They had a couple other ones I thought would have been better.
But they did use nacho cheese flavor.
Yeah, and that is my favorite flavor.
Oh, absolutely. But they do, maybe a lot of people aren't aware of this, there's ketchup flavored Doritos.
Which is just horrible sounding.
And what color do we think of when we think of ketchup?
Well, obviously red.
So could it be that somebody may be able to put together some ketchup flavored Doritos that look like long-stemmed roses? As goofy as that sounds, a cheesy gift for Valentine's Day, long-stemmed Doritos roses. It's a tough buying gift for that perfect gift for that special person. If you're aiming for deliberately cheesy, Doritos got it for you. Here it is. As the name suggests, the chip makers created a bouquet of a dozen roses using petals that are actually individual chips, which has got Carol thinking, because she's crafty. She does crafts.
Crafty.
Can I do this and have a bean dip underneath? Or the bouquets are made to order using ketchup-flavored Doritos, and that's where some caveats exist. That particular flavor is only available in Canada, as are these bouquets, unfortunately.
Which are totally sold out.
Which are sold out, too.
Forget that idea.
You have to make your own if you want to do this. However, for those of you who don't live in the Great White North, you still got you covered. Doritos is inviting you to get crafty for love with a step-by-step guide as to how you can make your own bouquet in time for Valentine's Day.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to check that out and see exactly how they make those.
Yeah, the pictures that we saw in the video are pretty amazing.
Yeah,
they looked like kind of like roses.
Yeah, actually, they don't look too bad.
But they were Dorito chips.
They were Dorito. I mean, if you're sick of chocolate.
Yeah.
Which,
who's going to ever be sick of chocolate?
Yeah, you can do Doritos.
Anyway, so I thought that was kind of a cute idea, a little bit unique, a little bit different than what you would normally think of for this time of year. Right? And then another good thing that we don't have out here are those White Castle hamburger places.
White Castle. We don't have White Castle?
No. Now, you can get White Castle in the frozen food section.
Okay.
The little hamburgers is what we're talking about. So here's a guy from Illinois arrested for creeping out a 22-year-old drive-through window worker at a White Castle about her dimples. Sounds creepy already, doesn't it? According to the website Patch, Michael Calabrese, accused of continually complimenting the female's dimples, waving at her as he drove around the restaurant, like over and over and over again, calling up the restaurant to tell her coworkers, "I really think her dimples are cute." The harassment took place early on the morning of the 26th of last month. After her shift, the lady and the coworker spotted that guy at a gas station, called the cops. He was arrested for a disorderly conduct charge.
Wow.
That's a little bit too creepy for this time of year.
That is a little bit too creepy for this time of year.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Carol, what are you working on over there? Anything? Can you top that?
Well, I just might be able to. I don't know if I could top that stalker story. That's just sort of yucky. And so, are you an American Idol person?
Oh, I am not.
Yeah.
I don't follow it hardly at all.
No, me neither. And do you watch the Grammys? I mean, are you a?
I'm just kind of tuned out of
Oscars,
contemporary
Grammys.
Culture right now.
All right. Well, you know who Lady Gaga is, right?
I do know.
And what did you think about the Super Bowl?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, she did an incredible job. What I like about Lady Gaga is it's so effortless appearing when she sings. And she really hits the notes.
Yeah, she does.
Doesn't miss, doesn't waver. To be invited to pal around with Tony Bennett on his tours, you have to be pretty good.
Right.
And they've become fast friends over the last couple of years. And boy, she did an incredible job for the national anthem.
She did.
That may have been the highlight of the whole presentation that day.
Yeah.
Halftime kind of stunk.
Yeah, I'm not really a Coldplay fan, so it didn't get me excited at all. I mean, I like Bruno Mars, I like Beyonce. If they weren't there, I think the halftime would have been total sunk. That's my personal opinion. Maybe people loved Coldplay and thought it was great, but
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say it stunk, but it didn't grab you.
Yeah.
Beyonce played a new song that's getting some controversy. As a matter of fact, there's a protest outside the NFL offices today against Beyonce, saying that the song was unfair to police. And the song was just released the day before the Super Bowl, so nobody in the stands really even knew what she was singing. Because it was new. was like sing along with
Right.
Beyonce because it was a new song, which I don't think that was a good idea. And then did you hear about the tweet or whatever by another artist this morning saying Cosby innocent?
Oh, yeah. That was, of course,
And
Kanye. Was it Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye West.
Yeah.
And he's got a new album coming out
Yeah.
today. So they think he did it just for the publicity.
Right.
That's kind of cold.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So,
It's all marketing, all branding.
yeah.
You know?
But,
Well, so Lady Gaga, she's going to actually do a tribute to David Bowie.
oh, is she?
Yeah, at the Oscars. So that's sort of what I'd like to see. That'd be great.
That'd be
Great to see.
super.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, she can probably do just about anything she wants. I
Right.
think vocally.
Mhm.
And she was dressed normal. I mean,
I know. You're like, what is she going to wear?
I was sitting in a big room full of
Mhm.
people, and somebody said, man, she's really attractive. Like, because you don't know.
Right.
Sometimes some of the costumes she wears, you
Mhm.
can't tell exactly, where
Right.
it starts and stops with her. So, but she did look very attractive.
Mhm.
She delivered. I mean,
Yeah.
she was very impressive. Got the whole room quiet when she
Mhm.
was singing. So that was pretty cool, I thought. So she'll be in the Academy Awards, did you say? Or
The Grammys. Yeah.
Grammys.
Yeah, she'll be doing a tribute to David Bowie.
Good.
So, and she was working when she found out she actually got I guess she's got a nomination for one of her songs. So, Till It Happens to You was nominated.
Oh, okay. All right. Very
So,
good.
there you go.
Speaking of Lady Gaga, it was 4 years ago today that Born This Way, the first single from her new album, was released
Okay.
and became the fastest iTunes single of all time. Went on to become number one on the Hot Billboard list for 7 weeks in a row,
Wow.
which is Born This Way. I like that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, so there you go. So a lot of Lady Gaga information for everybody.
Yeah, if they
Here
wanna
this morning.
know.
We get up in the morning at dark 30, and I never know exactly which way the show's going to go with you or with Jeff or whatever. And didn't really hadn't even thought about Lady Gaga until moments ago. So there we go. Now it's going to be a big part of this segment. I like it. Very good. Jack Parr, remember him? Do you remember him?
I'm not sure. What is...
He was one of the first late night show hosts.
Jack Parr, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he used to host The Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
And on this date, 1960, which is just a long time ago.
Yes, it is a long time ago.
He walked off The Tonight Show set because NBC had censored 5 minutes of his material. He walked out on this date in February of the 11th. It didn't come back until March 7th. Then left 2 years later and turned the reins over to a young upstart by the name of Johnny Carson.
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
the sequence of events there. But Jack Parr, a rebel in his own right in those days, and was quite indignant about the censorship.
It sort of seems interesting. That seems to have happened more than once, and then some of these people go off to create their own empires.
Yeah.
Leaving the networks behind. And now they wonder why nobody's watching regular TV anymore.
Networks are struggling.
Yeah.
They really are, and it's going to change. The whole landscape of television is changing quickly, and network TV just isn't what it is. And if you look at their lineups, sometimes some nights are just awful for what they have. And all the other new independent Netflix and all that are offering good programs.
Yeah, original programming. I mean, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, they're all creating their own thing.
It's good stuff. Just about 7 o'clock. Good morning.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. It's another ugly day on Wall Street. Traders are worried about the direction of the global economy. They're dumping stocks and heading for safe havens like gold. The Dow's down 232 points, the Nasdaq lower by 53. Mylan is buying Swedish drug maker Meda for $7.2 billion in cash and stock. This is the third time the generic drug maker has made to buy the company. Mylan announced the deal as it posted its fourth quarter earnings results, which fell short of estimates. Avon had a flat quarter, missing estimates. Revenue was below forecasts as sales of its cosmetics slumped for a 16th straight quarter. The company's smarting from continuing declines in its key Latin America market. Shares are down nearly 9%. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
When the temperature starts to drop, it helps to have a legend under the hood. No, not the kind that swings a giant axe and enjoys the camaraderie of oversized cattle. We're talking Napa Legend and Legend Premium Batteries. Buy one today, and you'll get up to a $20 prepaid Visa card by mail. That's $20 back, and the comfort of knowing you're riding along with a real legend. That's Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 2/29/16.
All it takes is a World MasterCard to go from everyday to priceless. To go from staying home for the Grammys to staying in Hollywood. From hearing about the glamorous after parties
This is Gossip Weekly.
to attending them. Champagne? All it takes is a MasterCard to get access to exclusive concerts and events during the week of the Grammys. Book now at priceless.com/music. MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the 58th Grammy Awards.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. The stakes are high for tonight's Democratic debate as Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders get ready to rumble for the hearts and minds of voters in a Milwaukee melee just days before the South Carolina primary. While Chris Christie and Carly Fiorina have bowed out of the race, Ohio Governor John Kasich is ramping up his campaign. ABC's Jonathan Karl in South Carolina says he got some attention with his second-place finish in New Hampshire.
Kasich does seem to have some momentum in South Carolina. At least he had overflow crowds at his first events in the state, and he's trying to recreate some of that magic that he had in New Hampshire with the town hall meetings. He did more than 100 town hall meetings in New Hampshire. He's got 3 just today here in South Carolina, but of course he doesn't have much time. The election is only in 9 days.
Fresh off the boat, passengers are telling their harrowing tales of survival at sea, sailing through a hurricane on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship.
It was absolutely terrifying. We were on the 3rd floor with an ocean view, and we literally saw the ocean with Dory swimming by.
Dory was one of the fish in Finding Nemo. Some said they got nervous when they saw crew members in the hallways crying and hugging. The ship docked safely in New Jersey yesterday, where cruise officials promised an investigation. Another year of too little snow in Alaska is wreaking havoc on the world's most famous dog sled race. The Iditarod begins today with a ceremonial jaunt through the streets of Anchorage, but snowfall is only about 2/3 of the normal year. Tomorrow, the competitive part of the race begins. A drive-by shooting killed a baby sleeping in a crib in Compton, California. Police believe the bullet was meant for the child's father, a suspected gang member. The shooter is still at large. The job market is showing new signs of life. 16,000 fewer Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week, suggesting companies are holding on to workers and looking for more. Boston is trying to rid the streets of unsightly cigarette butts with special voting receptacles in high-traffic areas. Each features a question, for example, which superpower would you prefer, invisibility or flight? This is ABC News.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-613-4810. That's 1-800-613-4810. 1-800-613-4810. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders made history this week by becoming the first Jewish American ever to win a presidential primary. ABC's Jordana Miller is in Jerusalem, where he's generating a lot of media buzz.
The Israeli press is starting to pay a lot more attention to Democrat Bernie Sanders after his landslide win in New Hampshire and near win in Iowa. One headline here reads, quote, how a 74-year-old Jewish grandpa will change the American order. Also, a 1990 interview with Sanders was reprinted here in the newspaper Haaretz. The then aspiring congressman said he wished the U.S. would pressure Israel harder on the Palestinian issue. Sanders also told the reporter that in 1963, he spent several months on a kibbutz in northern Israel. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Tennis legend Billie Jean gave her audience a little something extra at a Rochester luncheon honoring suffragist Susan B. Anthony. To the delight of fans, she pulled out a tennis racket and lobbed some autographed tennis balls into the crowd. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgren, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgren. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFiber1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community, 35 on a panel, decide where the money goes. And that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Alex Jones and InfoWars. Weeknights 6 to 9 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
But they run this hoax. It's the law. No, there is no law. And they all engage in this big conspiracy because they think it's the right thing to do. And then once it starts killing people, they can never admit, oh my gosh, this is a eugenics program. This is a mass public testing program. No, no, no. There's no admissions of that. It's just make fun of anybody that talks about it and say that we're going to make everybody sick. That's all over the news now. You're going to make me sick. You take a vaccine.
This is Doug Samples from Whitney Chevrolet. We're going to save you money. Montesano has one of the lowest sales tax rates in the state, plus our costs are way less than other dealers. And right now, we're offering up to 90 days with no payments on any new or used vehicles with proof of your tax refund. They all come with lifetime oil changes to boot. Stop by and visit WhitneyChev.com to check out our inventory.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Worth the drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
For iFIBER One News Radio and Sports, I'm Dale Hubbard. Good morning. It is 7:08 on this Thursday. Gonzaga Bulldog basketball for you about 12 hours from right now. We'll tip off at 8 o'clock this evening, and it is the Gonzaga Bulldogs against the University of Portland today, West Coast Conference action, and then Saturday, St. Mary's looms large as the next opponent for the Bulldogs, who sit atop the WCC, though not as unblemished of a record as in years past, having 5 defeats this year, 2 West Coast Conference defeats, and so not even in the top 25 right now. So looking for an at-large bid to get into the big dance. Everybody will be talking more about that as February ends and March Madness begins. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but Gonzaga basketball for you tonight on the radio. Meanwhile, Sean Wells, our sports director, will be heading out to Tacoma, covering girls basketball action. The Lady Climbers taking on Auburn, a school in Auburn, and I'm sorry, I've missed the name, but there's like 4 of them in Auburn now. So it's one of those Auburn schools, and best of luck to the Lady Climbers. We have a lot of wrestling action going on this week as well, as many Shelton high climbers, boys and girls wrestlers, the grapplers, are qualified for district action to make it to the big state matchups in the Tacoma Dome next weekend. A weekend from this one coming. All right, now, that being said, in the Pac-12 last night, Huskies lose to Utah 90-82. The goalkeeper, Hope Solo, from the U.S. Ladies Women's National Team, asserted that if the Olympics were today, she would not go out of concern for the Zika virus. Her apprehension about the Rio Games this summer, first reported by Sports Illustrated this past week, and she reiterated those comments again following the U.S. team's 5-0 victory over Costa Rica last night to open the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying tournament. She says, all I can do is speak for myself. If the Olympics were today, I would not go. And as you may have heard there, the Iditarod sled dog race, another low snow year in Alaska, playing havoc with the world's most famous sled dog race, at least for the start. They'll decide tomorrow whether the official start will be 75 miles north of Anchorage as normal, or whether to move the start to Fairbanks like they had to do last year. That's sports. Here's Carol Gardner with our weather forecast.
Good morning. It's 45. Some light rain turning into rain showers later this morning and becoming a more steady rain this afternoon and continuing through evening and the next several days. Right now, it's 45.
You can't be done with that before the jingle's over, because
well, it's raining. I mean, how many words can we say rain?
It's pouring. The old man is snoring. Something. I don't know.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studio.
Gotcha.
All right.
It's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor.
Okay.
Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
7:12 on Daybreak, iFIBER One News Radio. Carol Gardner in her normal spot.
Mm-hmm.
And Dale Hubbard in for Jeff today, tomorrow, and President's Day and Tuesday.
Yeah, while it's raining here, it's sunning there.
I didn't realize how presidential Jeff was to take 4 days off like that, but apparently he's all into that holiday.
Apparently.
That's a big one, especially in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. U.S. women's national soccer team briefed last night on the Zika virus crisis and how that's developing in Latin America. And we just had talked about that and how Hope Solos told Sports Illustrated that, no, I'm not going to go. If it was today, I wouldn't go. Of course, there's going to be a lot of things that will happen between now and August that may change that.
Right.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Say, what's for lunch? Breakfast. No, what's for lunch? Oh, yeah, breakfast. Breakfast for lunch? Yep. Then what's for dinner? Breakfast is. I thought you said breakfast was for lunch.
I totally did.
But now you're saying breakfast is for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So, wait, is lunch for breakfast?
No, breakfast is for breakfast. With McDonald's all-day breakfast menu, which includes the Egg McMuffin, hot cakes, and hash browns, anytime is delicious breakfast time.
Man, I'm heading to McDonald's. Have a good afternoon.
Don't you mean good morning?
I do now.
McDonald's all-day breakfast menu varies by location.
Introducing McDonald's Signature Crafted Recipes. We're talking bold sandwiches featuring authentic ingredients.
What?
You know it, like the guacamole made with Haas avocados in the Pico guacamole recipe.
Wow.
Barbecue sauce made with Vidalia onions in the sweet barbecue bacon recipe.
Nice.
And bacon with maple seasoning in the maple bacon Dijon recipe.
Amazing.
Try them on chicken or beef.
I want to try them all.
It's a new way to enjoy McDonald's. Create your signature crafted sandwich today at participating McDonald's.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
7:15 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio. On Daybreak, Dale and Carol. Nice to have you along. Clark County has agreed to pay $125,000 to a former juvenile court employee who filed a wrongful termination complaint alleging gender discrimination and retaliation. According to the Columbian, that court records show Mickey Keller filed several discrimination complaints between 2010 and 2014, alleging preferential treatment of men over women. And again, the county has agreed to pay $125,000 to that former juvenile court employee.
The state's taxable retail sales keeps on going up. According to third quarter numbers from the Department of Revenue, statewide there was a 7.8 increase in the third quarter, making for a total of $35.8 billion. Sale of vehicles and auto parts went up by 10%, and building materials, gardening stores increased. Doesn't gardening usually always increase, though, this time of year?
Well, this time of year it does. Yeah. Starts to, anyway.
Starts to. General merchandise stores, restaurants, bars. I mean, just, they say the South Sound fared pretty well compared to up north, which is where we usually hear all the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, it's always doing real well. They may have plateaued a little bit. My goodness, they've been record-breaking, their economy up there. So.
Yeah, so maybe that's why we went up a little bit.
And maybe we're starting to get a little fallout from that robust economy, too.
Yeah, that could be.
I know that Lacey's going through growing pains, urban sprawl.
Yeah.
You know, it's a result of that. So we're getting not our fair share of it, but a little sprinkling of it. We're starting to see it and feel it. Also, in the headlines this morning, a federal judge said the only reason she won't hold our state in contempt for failing to provide timely competency services is because state judges have issued dozens of these contempt orders and imposed $1 million in fines, but that hasn't changed the state's conduct. Instead, Judge Marcia Peckman altered the permanent injunction and gave the Department of Social and Health Services until May 27th to fix the problems. But she didn't say what was going to happen after that.
No consequences yet.
No consequences yet.
Authorities are looking for a stabbing suspect who seriously injured a man on the Olympia Woodland Trail. The victim was taken to a hospital with serious injuries to his abdomen after the yesterday afternoon incident. The victim is expected to recover, but they are still looking for the suspect.
Did you talk about the transgender?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you can say it again if you'd like to.
A full Senate has rejected a bill that would eliminate Washington's new rule allowing transgender people to use bathrooms and locker rooms in public buildings consistent with their gender identity. The legislation failed by one vote. Human Rights Commission Director Sharon Ortiz has said that the new rule was only a clarification of the state's existing anti-discrimination law.
Governor Jay Inslee appointed Roger Millard to serve as acting Secretary of Transportation following the Senate's firing of the previous secretary. Inslee announced yesterday that Miller, who's currently Deputy Secretary for the State Department of Transportation, replaced Lynn Peterson, who was ousted by the Senate when majority Republicans and a Democrat who caucuses with them took the rare move of rejecting her gubernatorial appointment. That's got to be a hard job, though. Be the head of Department of Transportation.
Yes.
I mean, one wrong move and...
Well, it's been a hard job the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about one wrong move or maybe a whole bunch of no moves like Bertha.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So they cited the Bertha project. They cited increasing tolls on the 405. A lot of reasons that people are unhappy with the state of our roads. We're not alone, folks. The whole country.
Right.
Infrastructure is going to hell.
Right. And then if you don't pay for them... How do you, like the tolls, how do you get them fixed? I mean, that's the hard part there. People don't want to give out any money, but they want everything fixed. That's the hard part. That's the fine line.
Jerry brings up an interesting angle on all these kinds of things. Whenever you get something built or approved to do something, there's the year after that and the year after that, and you got to maintain it, and you have to keep it up to standards.
Yeah.
And they never put that into the grants or whatever, or in the plans. And then they go, well, how are you going to come up with the money to do that? And then it deteriorates, and then you're stuck with the albatross.
Yeah. I mean, that's just sort of, everybody has to pay for everything that we use. Nobody can do it alone.
It's a true story. It's a true story. We have Steve Goins coming in today for Focus on Shelton, and we look forward to visiting with Steve, and we'll ask him how things are going. He's got good insight on all these things that have been happening with the city.
Right.
So we'll touch on a lot of different topics with Steve this morning and see what he can share with us. He's probably a little bit clipped as far as what he can talk. Some of this is ongoing stuff.
Right.
But there's a lot of projects out there that we've been talking about, and the visioning committee. I'd like to get an update on that from him. I haven't got a chance to hear from him on that. So we'll look forward to that. That's in the 8 o'clock hour, right? Okay. We are working to get Steve Bloomfield and another guest in. So I believe it's next Thursday now that
next Tuesday, I believe.
Oh, okay. Right.
They're going to be coming in.
All right. And does it have his guest with him? What her name is?
Yes, Julie Horowitz.
Okay.
Governor's policy advisor for Shellfish Initiative. Will accompany Steve Bloomfield. So they're going to talk about environmental issues and et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so that should be a good subject.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of like environmental issues, the tribes issued a $5,000 fine for an owl killing. Yeah.
Oh, up in Colville. Jerry and I spooked a big, I think it's the spotted owl. Big creek. And it was amazing.
I know you don't hardly ever get to see him, and then when you do, you're like starstruck.
We were stunned.
Yeah.
And we were on our little road up at the transmitter site, so we stopped. And he just stood there and looked at us, and we took pictures. I got pictures. I'll show you.
Yeah, Yeah, we'll put them up on Facebook.
So,
Did he
yeah,
go, "Whoo"?
incredible. And I didn't realize how big they were. Flew right along our route, right over the truck. And I'm going, is that an owl? And he parks himself, and I stay there, owl. And I'm getting my phone and it's all fumbling around and everything. He just sat there and looking at me like he's smart. I mean, they do look smart, you know. But so what's the deal with them? So an owl was killed.
Well, it was a rare hawk owl.
Okay.
And it was found dead hanging from a tree near Brewster in January. Bird watchers reportedly had flocked to the area to see the owl. A couple had seen the bird alive, heard a gunshot after driving away, returned to find it hanging by one foot.
Man.
The tribe has fined a man $5,000 for the owl's death. I just don't understand why people do it. I just don't get it.
Yeah. There's game birds for food.
Yeah, but he left the owl there hanging.
But the owl was obviously just a display.
Yeah.
I mean, they shot the owl and left it hanging. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And, they're not game birds because there's not that many of them.
Right.
So
I mean,
I don't have to tell people about the history of the spotted owl around here.
No.
But they're rare. So you should probably try to make an effort to preserve that. And I don't know what they taste like.
Chicken?
Probably. Just guessing. I have no idea. I have no idea. Owl eye soup. How's that sound? No?
Owl eye. No, that sounds horrible. Well, so also coming up on Daybreak, we have the Inquire Minds series. There'll be somebody coming in a couple weeks.
Oh, yes.
And she will be talking about the presenter is going to be David Fenner, retired from UW Department of International Education. And he's going to lead a community conversation on the discussion of Islam in the modern world. It should be highly interesting. Inquiring Minds presents Islam 101, Perceptions, Misconceptions, and Context for the 21st Century.
All right. That will be a good speaker and very interesting topic to be sure. Take a quick break right here. And when we return, we'll set the stage for our next 30 minutes. We've got news coming up with Mary Lynn Foster at 7:30. It's 7:24 right now on Daybreak with Carol and Dale.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Daybreak indeed.
Daybreak from iFIBER One News Radio.
7:26 on this Thursday, the 11th of February. Have a special performance coming up for the folks from Love Inc., their annual Soup and Song event. And Jeff Bursch and George Mick will be performing. If George Mick's name is familiar to some of you, he was a Mason County idol that we were so proud to present for many years here around the area. And he was a good, close friend of the stations and used to come out to our events and sing the national anthem and that sort of thing. And the 4th annual Love Inc. Soup and Song Benefit Concert and Dessert Auction is coming your way February 20th at the Shelton Presbyterian Church. And that's up on Shelton Springs Road there. So you're all invited to attend. Of course, all proceeds benefiting Love Inc. Soup and Song is one of 2 major fundraisers for Love Inc., the other being the big golf tournament and ball drop. golf balls from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming up this year on July the 18th out at Alderbrook. And so, again, George Mick, great singer. I'm not familiar with Jeff Bursch, but if he's on a par with George, that'll be a fun evening, and you'll be well entertained. George used to do Garth Brooks. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a name, yeah.
Country star.
Yeah, country star, yeah.
So George was so spot on with look, appearance, and sound that he made a living in Las Vegas.
Really?
Doing a Garth Brooks impersonation.
He knew people in low places.
He did, yeah. But I mean, that's just how skillful his vocal skills are. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it should be a good show.
Oh,
I like
great.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good. He hasn't really done anything new that I...
No, he kind of took about a 5-year hiatus, and then he's cut an album since. He's done his live performances are always sold out, like 15 minutes, and they're sold out. And my son and his lady friend went all the way to Las Vegas to watch him.
Yeah. Well,
to see him.
Yeah, when he first came out, people were sort of like, oh, who's this new kind of country? He's not going to fly with us, but he flew.
He flew. He converted a lot of people.
Yeah, he did.
I retuned myself to contemporary country because of Garth Brooks.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, otherwise I wouldn't know who any of these new people are, and I still don't. 7:28, we're going to break away for news here in just a few moments. With Mary Lynn Foster, we'll come back with sports and weather. Pretty rainy forecast for the next several days.
Yeah,
our weekend looks pretty damp.
Yes, it does. As
all
of
those
right
things.
now.
I was going to take that little window of opportunity earlier this week and get the lawn mowed. It's growing like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you had Monday and Tuesday. Even yesterday afternoon, it was cloudy.
Surprisingly dry.
Yeah, I was surprised also.
We were on the freeway yesterday.
Oh, well,
dang it.
It's hard to mow unless you have one of those phone apps that you could tell your mower to go mow the lawn.
And it could be like one of those bumper mowers that just bounces off of things.
Yeah.
Randomly. Just
One day soon. And you can even watch it on your phone while
now,
it's mowing.
if they can get one of those random pooper scoopers to go about the yard while I'm gone at work all day, and I wouldn't have to come home to that.
Just get robotic dogs.
That would, well.
I didn't say that, Coco. You didn't hear that, did you?
Get the evil eye.
Yeah, I think I will, the stink eye.
7:30.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before a cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgren, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgren. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFiber1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community, 35 on a panel, decide where the money goes. And that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things: dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now. Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful. Roger that.
Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart, now in 4 energizing new flavors like Midnight Grape. It all starts with a kick.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Fit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Kobe visits LeBron for the final time. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. Wednesday night saw LeBron James and the Cavaliers play host to Kobe Bryant for the final time in Bryant's storied career. And James had no intention of sending Kobe off with a win.
Here comes LeBron. The Cavs have numbers. LeBron goes all the way, lays it up, lays it in, gets fouled by Randall. And LeBron has given the Cavaliers an 82-62 lead.
On WTAM, as LeBron's 29 points helped the Cavs down the Lakers 120-111. Kobe finished with 17. Kyrie Irving had 35 for Cleveland. LeBron and Kobe will face off for the final time on March 10th. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson and the Warriors keep on making history.
Bounce pass by Booker, stolen by Klay Thompson, who's checked back in. Klay with a dribble front court. Nobody stops him, and he'll just take a 3 and knock it down.
On KNBR, as Golden State now has the best record in NBA history through 52 games at 48-4. They were 112-104 winners over Phoenix. Staying in the association, the Spurs entered the All-Star break in style.
Down to 5 seconds. Kawhi Leonard will start to make a move. Pulls up from 21 feet. That shot is good. Kawhi Leonard nails it with 9/10 of a second left in the game.
On WOAI, as that Kawhi Leonard shot gave the Spurs a 98-96 win over the Magic. In college basketball, it was deja vu all over again for number 14 Iowa State when they visited Texas Tech.
10 seconds to go. Down 3. Thomas got it off. Missed it. Smith the rebound. And for the second straight year, Texas Tech upsets Iowa State in Lubbock.
On ESPN, as the Red Raiders held on for an 85-82 victory. NFL news. Warrants are expected soon in the incident involving Bills running back LaShawn McCoy. McCoy reportedly assaulted 2 off-duty police officers in a Philadelphia nightclub last weekend. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For iFIBER One News Radio and newsradio.com. I'm Dale Hubbard. Good morning, 7:36 here on your Thursday morning. In for Jeff Slakey. So if you notice a different tonal quality to the male portion of the morning show, now you know there's an actual reason. It's a different person. All right, high school basketball action, district-wide action. 2A West Central Sea King District, River Ridge with an easy win over Kingston last night. In the 3A West Central Southwest District tournament, North Thurston scores a 10-point victory over Auburn Riverside. And in the 4A ranks, the Ole Bears over Todd Beamer 70-50. Puyallup with a 59-55 squeaker over South Kitsap, and Timberline gets by Thomas Jefferson, final there 50-49. to 45. Gonzaga basketball for you tonight, 7 o'clock pregame, 8 o'clock tip, as Gonzaga takes on Portland. And then Saturday we'll have Gonzaga basketball for you as well, as they take on St. Mary's. The Iditarod sled dog race scheduled for a start this weekend, but where will they start from? Another low snow year in Alaska is playing havoc with the world's most famous sled dog race, at least for the start. The board will decide tomorrow whether the official start will be 75 miles north of Anchorage, as it should be, or whether to move the start to Fairbanks, where they had to start last year again because of low snow. That is sports. No low snow here, but lots of rain. And with your forecast, Carol Gardner.
Good morning. It's 45, and there is some light rain out. Expect occasional rain to continue for the next several hours, becoming more of a steady rain this afternoon. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending who you are, it will continue through tonight and through the next several days. Temps, though, are going to stay right around the 50-degree mark. And right now, it's 45.
Thank you, Carol.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
And then there's a guest, but it's a floating.
It's a floater. 7:39.
Talk a little bit about the environment around us.
Yes, we always are very happy to get representatives from the Pacific Northwest Salmon Center in Belfair. And today, environmentally sound.
Environmentally sound.
And an old one at that.
Yeah.
Because that was Dale and Jeff.
Yeah, that was Dale and Jeff.
And Seth.
Yeah. And Seth does come on, but I believe he is coming on next Tuesday.
Do you have the schedule quickly? I know.
Yes.
Okay.
He will be on Tuesday the 16th.
Okay. So we'll dispense with that deal. That's okay. We got other things we can.
We do locally.
Wondering where that voice came from.
Yeah.
It was freaking me out.
We had the special election a couple of days ago.
Yes, mostly school maintenance and operation levies for the most part.
Yep.
And fire district.
Yes, and they were, as of Wednesday, because the audit, they did another count Wednesday afternoon. The next ballot count will be on the 18th. They don't have any estimated ballots left to count. They've counted just little less than 6,000 ballots. So as of right now, it's I'm not sure how much it's going to change, but Merriam Knight passing 66%, Fire Protection District 8 Emergency Medical Services passing 79%, McCleary School 85%, Elma. These are just Mason County. I should go actually to the multi counties. Elma School right now is not passing in Mason County. That's at 51%. So
not very many votes, not very many people in the Elma School District that live in Mason County, just a handful.
Right, but it looks like the total votes with Grays Harbor and Mason County, it is passing.
Combined, yeah.
Combined.
So just a distinction there.
Yeah. Back to Mason County Hood Canal. Looks like it's just passing at 60%. So that one, we're just going to have to wait to see the very final counts to see if that's actually going to be passing. And North Mason School looks like it's passing also at 62%.
Yeah, so you guys did the math the other day. I thought that was just fascinating.
Yeah.
So we got down to 4 votes.
Yeah, 4
to
votes.
get over the 60%, to get to 60%.
Yes.
So every vote counts.
It does. It's amazing.
And it's a big deal. And, so much is emphasis this year because of Graduation Matters Shelton's movement, and just a more conscious effort, I think, on the community's part with the big collaboration for the pool last summer, and all these things that people are really on board and looking forward to integrating community and school throughout the county.
Right.
And hopefully throughout the South Sound. So it's imperative that these school maintenance and operation levies get passed, because they need that. They don't get the support they used to get from taxes. So, all right, we'll be right back at 7:42.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6. And they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
It's the Las Vegas Getaway Giveaway, Saturday nights the 13th and 27th at the Lucky Dog Casino. 2 lucky winners will win a trip for 2 to Vegas, baby. Free bingo on Wednesday afternoons beginning at 1, and in the North Fork Grill, prime rib Saturdays from 4 till 9. A special Valentine's Day dinner Sunday, February 14th, minutes north of Shelton on Highway 101. It's the Lucky Dog Casino.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
7:44 at the iFIBER ONE radio studios, news radio studios.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
All right, and very pleasant Thursday to you. Dale Hubbard in for Jeff Slakey, Carol Gardner, and you here on the 11th of February. Big Valentine's Sweetheart Weekend coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Got a hot date?
Always have a hot day for Valentine's.
What are you and your mom doing for Valentine's?
Hey, it's the premiere of not premiere, but the season comes back for The Walking Dead.
Oh, that is
so if
big.
you want red.
You know, you are onto something right there.
I am onto something.
The red color is pretty prevalent there.
I'll make my Dorito roses.
Do Walking Dead people bleed?
They do until there's no more blood, but yeah.
And then they just keep walking.
Yeah, they just keep walking.
Oh, spooky.
It is spooky.
Do you have nightmares being a Walking Dead fan?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I can separate the reality from the...
I can't.
And reality. But you know what's sort of interesting about The Walking Dead and the whole zombie phenomenon is just preparedness in some kind of natural disaster. The U.S. government has their things every year. And a couple of years ago, they were planning out, instead of doing the same old thing, they said, okay, what if there was a zombie outbreak? What would we do? And so it forced them to think outside the box on emergency preparedness. Yeah. It wasn't a joke, but it was just forcing them to think of different ways that they could actually prepare for some kind of virus Zika outbreak, or, something that we don't know that's going to happen is really why they did it.
So it's like a cool way to be prepared for a disaster.
Yeah, just get you thinking different. Because look at the Ebola thing, that was new and different. Yeah. We didn't know that was going to happen. And how do you prepare for something you don't know unless you start trying to think of different ways to think about it?
Listen, this tectonic plate shifting has got me concerned. It's like an inevitable kind of a thing.
Yeah, it is inevitable. And so you only can be prepared.
It can only be prepared. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
It's all you can do.
Proactive is highly recommended versus reactive.
Oh, absolutely. So, and so funny because for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got storage of food and water and stuff put away because we're prepared now.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess I finally got banged on the head enough times that it sinks in, and you really got to do that sort of stuff. So thankful to all the fire fighters and the first response personnel and people that come in and talk to us on the radio from time to time to remind us to do those certain things and to change the batteries on your smoke alarms and all those little things. But if you're not continually batted over the head about it, you forget to do it.
Right. It's sort of like the polar bear jump. The first person who jumped, I'm sorry, I don't remember what his name was, but he sort of swam around out there.
Yeah.
But he was I think he was used to doing that. I mean, it was something that was sort of more.
He also
his
didn't wear
norm.
a shirt.
Yeah. Me, I wasn't used to doing that at all. So I just wanted water out of the water immediately. And I noticed I didn't function as well when I was just, trying to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've never done it before.
The cold started to creep in.
So when you don't know how to do something because you're not prepared, you don't even know how you're going to react.
Was your skin flushed afterwards during the day? So that's what I got from it.
Did you?
Yeah, all the blood rushes to your surface. And I would stay red for 5 or 6 hours afterwards. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Or it was maybe the belly flop that I did.
It was that Dorito breakfast and then a belly flop.
I love those Doritos. Dorito Roses, by the way, is the pick of choice this year for your surprising your Valentine. I think it works for either gender.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. And Carol's got a better idea. They suggested that you glue the base of these. We're serious. The Dorito Roses, long stemmed, as it turns out. But it was a cute idea, and it's got some traction. I can see where that would be popular. And then you eat them.
I would think you eat them, but then when I was reading about it, they used glue.
Yeah, so we got to figure how to home it up a little bit and use bean dip.
I'm thinking bean dip. Yeah, that's sort of like a
put
glue.
A base in there, nice thick bean dip that won't let them wobble around.
Yeah.
And then now you're home free.
Yeah.
You can eat everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and you could even use like leaves or not leaves, but lettuce or spinach or something for the leaves.
Mint julep leaves?
Or mint julep leaves. Mint and nachos.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
Yeah, it would be a tough one.
Might be a new taste sensation, though.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly.
Spearmint leaves.
Or kale or.
By the way, these Doritos were ketchup flavored. Only available in Canada.
I would not use ketchup flavored though. I would use regular nacho cheese Dorito.
Yeah, nacho cheese.
They didn't look that much red. They didn't look that much more red.
So what's the difference? Yeah. You could put red frosting over them.
Now we're talking.
Getting too crazy here. Sergio Mendes, 75. Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do.
Stance.
54. And Brandy, you remember her from Moesha?
Brandy. I remember the song Brandy.
Okay, you're a fine girl. That's different, though. That's a different deal. Bobby Boris Pickett, the Monster Mash guy, was born on this date.
Okay.
And also songwriter and partner of Carole King, Jerry Goffin, was born on this date, 1939. Tina Louise, Ginger on Gilligan's Island. Hard to believe, 82 today.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
She might be just about, her and Marianne are the last two survivors.
Yeah,
of the
I
cast.
actually didn't even know Tina Louise was still alive, so she is still alive.
Yes, and the professor just passed away recently. He lived in Seattle.
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago.
Okay, well, that's recent.
Yeah, it is sort of recently.
Just goes just like that. And Burt Reynolds is the big 80.
That's amazing.
What?
Yeah.
80, Deliverance, all the Cannonball Run shows. I like Burt Reynolds. He said his biggest mistake in his 80 years, losing Sally Field.
Yeah, I had seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that. She was good for him. That was the best he behaved in his whole life.
Yeah, probably the best thing for her, though.
Yeah, well, she had no comment on his comment.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There was that. And I think Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, 47.
47.
The Friends actors are becoming more than those 30-somethings.
They're getting a little long in the tooth, as they say. And it does my heart good to know that those people are catching up. Sidney Sheldon, the author, was born on this date, 1917, and the late funny Leslie Nielsen. It's his birthday today. So if you're having yours, that's who you're sharing with. We're going to take a quick pause here and get right back to it. Thursday, Daybreak with Dale and Carol will continue in just a few moments. I'm thinking right after the music ramps up and helps us to exit stage right. For those of you on TV, left.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
If you believe that good things come in small packages, this is your month. Our February preview today on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, February 1st, the 32nd day of the year. Lisa Marie Presley celebrates a birthday, and Frank Sinatra was recording his first session with the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra on this day in 1940. By the way, he got the job. Our shortest month is not quite so short this year. It's a year divisible by 4, so one more day gets tacked onto February this year. Groundhogs, presidents, and romance all take the spotlight. But don't forget the other worthy observances. It's Black History Month, Wild Bird Feeding Month, and Potato Lovers Month. The flower of February is the violet, and if you were born in February, your birthstone is the amethyst. Wearing one is said to give you courage and prevent insomnia. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. You can always learn more about February online at almanac.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, KMAS.
Good morning. It's Daybreak from iFIBER ONE News Radio with Dale.
Yes.
And Carol.
Yes, good job.
Yeah.
Way to go. Does Jeff let you do the intro once in a while?
I can't get a word in edgewise.
I know. I'm sitting in the pilot seat today.
Yeah, you are.
But
I've
been where you've been, and
Yeah.
I feel your pain, Carol.
You feel my pain. Okay, very good. So locally, we have some really great things that have been happening at our station. We have our news reporter, Jeff True, who has been awesome on a bunch of local stories. So you can find those under the news tab, under local news, under the news tab on our website. And then also under our sports tab, under regional sports, we have been having a lot of local high school stories posted by our sports director, Sean
Wells. Yes.
And he's doing a great job. He's actually out doing something today and will be out doing something tonight. Otherwise, he's usually on the air on Thursdays. But he did a feature report on 2 Shelton grads that are now at South Puget Sound College.
That's nice. Playing girls hoops. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can head to our website and you can just watch it. It's a short little, about a minute 20 type of a thing. And
a real quick little video on a couple of alumni that are now playing for the SPS, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Jeff's got some spastic.
Yeah, I always get it all confused. But South Puget Sound College, and it's a great little feature, and it's neat to have our local sports people go off and do stuff, and we can follow them, see what they're doing.
Absolutely, yeah, and we've had our fair share of famous alumni that have gone on to play, and then Hope Solo's husband is
Shelton grad.
No, but his mother teaches in Shelton School District.
Well, there you go. That is a claim to fame.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Everybody's connected somehow.
Yeah.
We do have Sean, speaking of Sean Wells, going to head up to Auburn. Auburn Mountain View High School is hosting the Shelton Lady Climbers tonight. District playoff action. So we're wishing the Lady Climbers the very best this evening. First playoff game in many, many, many years for them. And so not to put any added pressure on them.
No, not at all.
The whole town is hoping that you guys come back with a win. Or just, it's fine. Congratulations on a great season. To make the playoffs is not an easy feat in itself. And so very exciting and very excited for them. The grapplers are going to be, I think there's 11 guys and almost all the girls on the wrestling team are qualified for districts. And they'll be trudging on up to do that this weekend, and Sean's going to be covering that for us. So we'll have some video for them, for everybody to check that out, and we'll have some video clips of tonight's action as well.
Right.
Sean's going to be covering some of that.
Yep,
so.
He does a feature story. He posts it on our website. You can also follow him on the Twitter feed. It's at Sean Wells, Sean W. KMAS Sports, for all your local sports action.
There you go. See, there it is, right there. That's how I remember his name, is that it rhymes with Don Wells, the other surviving member of the Gilligan's crew.
Oh, all right.
Don Wells was and Sean Wells, same, almost, but not quite.
They both have dark hair.
They both end in Wells. Yeah. Focus on Shelton coming up next hour. Steve Goins will be in studio with us from the city of Shelton, and they've been in the news this week.
They have been in the news this week.
So we've got plenty to talk about with Steve. Always a good interview, always a good sport. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got that coming up at 7:57 here on Daybreak, iFIBER ONE Newsradio with Dale and Carol. And we'll give you a rundown on how the basketball results were from last night. By the way, Gonzaga basketball coming your way this evening. And our good friend Jerry Vermillion will probably be tuned in. Gonzaga alumni, former Irene S. Reed head coach, St. Martin's Hall of Fame coach, also coached at South Puget Sound, started the basketball program at South Puget Sound, yes. And also was a state champion at Lofbon, which is no more, but was a military kids high school in the Tacoma area. So he has a great book out right now. It's available, and you can check that out on any of the normal book sites that are available. But he lives in Union with his wife of some 60 years or something like that. They've been together. Great guy. He and his wife were in. We visited with them, and he is the leading rebounder in Gonzaga history. They don't have 4-year players like they used to back in his day. So he's got kind of an extra year or two to have. But still, that's a big thing. Considered one of the best of the great 8 players in Gonzaga history. And you're talking about John Stockton and some really pretty good ball players over the years. So it's a good program there. It's going for their 18th straight appearance in the NCAA this year. So anyway, so hi to Jerry and his bride, and a good fan of the station now because we carry Gonzaga.
Yeah, we do carry Gonzaga.
Likes that. He likes that. All right, so we'll take a break here for the news, and it comes from ABC. Of course, Mary Lynn Foster will give us our local and regional news breakdown, and we'll be back with sports, weather, and a whole lot more Thursday for you here on the cusp of a Valentine sweetheart type of weekend. Right?
Doritos is what I'm thinking.
Dorito roses. Dorito roses. That's something special. You don't always run into a unique gift giving idea like this. You can thank us
or make one and send it to us.
Yeah, or if you feel compelled to, you can sure do that. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back after the news.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3 KMAS Shelton.
Karen Chase. The pressure is higher on tonight's Democratic debate in light of the escalating battle between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. ABC's Ryan Burrow in Milwaukee says timing is everything.
This is the last scheduled Democratic debate before votes are cast in Nevada, South Carolina, and the Super Tuesday states. If Bernie Sanders is going to keep the momentum up following his win in New Hampshire, he's going to need to close Clinton's lead among African Americans. Meanwhile, Clinton needs a complete reset. In New Hampshire, she lost to Sanders among women and continues to deal with trust issues among voters. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Milwaukee.
Royal Caribbean officials were at the New Jersey dock to personally apologize to passengers disembarking from the Anthem of the Seas cruise after a scary sail through a hurricane. ABC's Lindsay Davis tells us some are calling for the captain to face criminal charges.
Some are still questioning the captain's judgment to venture out to sea with severe storm warnings in the forecast. And Wednesday night, Royal Caribbean apologized to its passengers in a statement calling the event exceptional and saying the company has identified gaps in our planning system that we are addressing. What happened this week showed that we need to do better. While at least 4 people suffered minor injuries, Royal Caribbean says the ship didn't sustain any major damage. Lindsay Davis, ABC News, Bayonne, New Jersey.
Former Attorney General Eric Holder tweeted his approval of the Justice Department's lawsuit against Ferguson, Missouri to force police reform, saying, how long do these people have to wait to be treated fairly? The U.S. Olympic Committee has hired 2 infectious disease specialists to help athletes decide whether they want to skip the Rio Games because of Zika. Einstein was right. Scientists have detected gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space and time that he predicted a century ago, opening a new way to look at the cosmos. After 28 years, the White House has put up signs at the gate warning that weapons are prohibited prohibited. They went up during the recent snowstorm. Secret Service officials say they're required by law to post the signs so they can search people for guns. This is ABC News.
QL1, does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork?
Negative control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes.
That is fast, like rocket fast.
It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Over.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This is Lori Grenier. You've seen me on Shark Tank hearing pitches from small businesses. Now, there's a new way for small businesses to get a loan in minutes. It's called Kabbage. That's Kabbage with a K. Just fill out the application online. You'll get an instant decision and could have access to a line of credit of up to $100,000. No waiting, no hassle. Kabbage is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and is a Forbes Top 100 company. Go to Kabbage.com, that's Kabbage with a K, Kabbage, or call 888-KABBAGE.
For the 15th time, Sirhan, the man sent to prison for killing Robert F. Kennedy, has been denied parole, even though ABC's Alex Stone tells us a witness claims he didn't do it.
In 1968, Paul Schrade was a union official, a friend of Robert Kennedy. He was at the Ambassador Hotel here in L.A. when Kennedy was shot. Schrade was also shot in the head but survived. He's now 91 years old. Schrade says he was shot by Sirhan, but
couldn't shoot Robert Kennedy and didn't. He was never in a position to do this.
He says there was a second gunman who is still on the loose.
He never shot Robert Kennedy.
Now Schrade is calling for the government to reopen the case. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
British health officials have filed criminal charges against producers of Star Wars The Force Awakens over the on-set accident that broke Harrison Ford's leg. He was hit when a hydraulic door on the Millennium Falcon unexpectedly closed. Production of the film halted for 2 weeks. British officials are charging a production company with violating safety laws. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before a cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgrun, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgrun. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit Your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community. 35 on a panel decide where the money goes, and that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER One News Radio.
We have some extreme temperatures in our part of the country. I want to tell you about a local company, Arch Mechanical. ARCH, Arch. It's an acronym for Affordable Refrigeration, Cooling, and Heating. But that's not what's important. What's important is how Tom, the problem solver, is able to help solve your heating, cooling, and refrigeration equipment or system problems. Check out archmechanical.com and find out more. archmechanical.com. For iFIBER One News Radio Sports, I'm Dale Hubbard. Good morning. It is 8:08, and in sports notes from around the region last night, 2A West Central Sea King District playoff action at River Ridge with a 79-49 win over Kingston. In 3A West Central Southwest District action, North Thurston scores a victory over Auburn Riverside. And in 4A action, West Central District 3, Ole Bears with a 70-50 win over Todd Beamer. Puyallup defeats South Kitsap. And Timberline with a win over Thomas Jefferson. Now, tonight, the Shelton Lady High Climbers take on Auburn Mountain View at 7 p.m., and we'll move on with a win and play again on Saturday night. So we wish Coach and everybody the very best tonight for the West Central District Tournament first round game against Auburn Mountain View tonight at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, tomorrow, boys diving, the diving championships at Auburn High School at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Boys swimming championships, preliminaries at Hazen High School tomorrow evening beginning at 5. And girls wrestling, the regionals begin at Yelm tomorrow at 5 as well. Boys wrestling is Saturday at North Thurston, starts at 9:30 in the morning. The dance team is at the Capitol Invite this coming Saturday, and we wish all of the athletes and participants the very best in the weekend ahead. Gonzaga basketball action for you tonight on the radio. The 19-5 Gonzaga Bulldogs taking on the Portland Pilots, and we'll have that game for you at 7 o'clock this evening. And then another big game for the Gonzaga Bulldogs on Saturday against St. Mary's. Gonzaga looking to, number one, take the West Coast Conference title, and number two, get an at-large berth in the Big Dance, the NCAAs. It will be their 18th year in a row. Follow all of the Gonzaga Bulldog action right here on iFIBER One News Radio. Carol Gardner's in with our weather.
Good morning.
Wet.
Yeah, it's wet.
It's going to stay wet.
Yeah, it's going to stay wet. If you didn't get out on Monday and Tuesday and mow your lawn and scoop up doggy dew, it's going to be sort of yucky now.
Nothing's worse than doggy dew after a rainstorm. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so it's 45 right now, some light rain. Expect some the occasional rain to continue for the next several hours. It's going to turn into more of a steady rain later this afternoon and evening, and it will continue for several more days. But the temps are going to stay right around the 50 mark, and right now it's 45.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:11, and we'll be here for just about a minute and then take a quick break and come back with more Daybreak, which includes a ticket giveaway for our Valentine dessert and luncheon tomorrow, dessert auction and luncheon at the Civic Center. All proceeds benefiting United Way. So yours truly will be the auctioneer, and I haven't been doing any auctioning for a while. I'm a little rusty, little out of kind of like the early parts of the show today. Little bit unfamiliar territory, but I'll get my chops. I have lost my voice at the dessert auction before.
Really?
Well, there's like 40 desserts, and I got to get them crammed in and out the door in about an hour and a half. No breaks for the poor DJ out there.
Oh, violin or small record player.
I know, but I do get tidbits and samples and pieces of dessert.
Yeah, I was gonna say
throughout the whole thing.
You get a little,
like
here's some energy for you, Dale.
Yeah, like I'm not being like neglected or not taken care of, So looking forward to that. A chance for you to win tickets to that coming up next on Daybreak. It's 8:12.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE Newsradio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE Newsradio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE Newsradio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
Looking for a more exciting place to play? Discover the newly expanded gaming floor and awesome new sports bar at Lucky Eagle Casino. You'll find hundreds of new machines on the floor, plus 20 HD TVs, a huge big screen, 35 beers on tap, and great food in the sports bar. So what are you waiting for? Come get your game on at Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel, I-5 to exit 88, Rochester, Washington. Now more than ever, where you belong. Details at luckyeagle.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
8:14. Daybreak, Thursday edition. Dale in for Jeff and Carol Gardner. Riding shotgun.
Yep, riding shotgun.
Unless we were in Europe, and then you'd be driving and I'd be riding shotgun.
That's right. We'd have everything over here, and it'd be very strange.
Yeah, it would be. And I'd be out on the middle center lane with no control. That's scary. That's why I think that we flipped it over here.
You think so?
That's my theory. I'm sticking with it.
All right.
That's how I remember it going down early in the 18th century.
Oh, way back then when you were listening in.
Yeah. All right. 462-1041, the studio line, 360-462-1041. If you can get away and join us 11:30 till 1:30 at the Civic Center tomorrow, and you have not yet gotten tickets and would like to come celebrate the Valentine holiday in grand style and support a wonderful cause, United Way of Mason County. By the way, proceeds not only go to United Way, they go to United Way of Mason County. They stay right here in this community. And 80 to 95% of all these desserts are homemade by community members. They're extraordinary. People wait all year to whip it out and do their thing. And some of them are traditional every year. Some of the people that do this every year throw us a few surprises. But we'll take the first caller this morning that can break away and join us tomorrow at 11:30 at the Civic Center, and we'll be in and out and gone and done by 1:30. So a 2-hour window right there, and we have to get you fed and get the United Way fed and get in and out and cleaned up and gone. So it's fast, it's fun, and it's for a great cause. So give us a call, 360-462-1041, and we'll be happy to give you a pair of tickets to tomorrow's event. They're worth $20 each, $25 at the door. And these tickets are being donated by Karen Shade, who will be calling us in about 15 minutes and giving us the opening Wall Street volley. What else is going on, Carol?
Well, breaking news.
Okay.
They have recorded the sound of two black holes colliding and proved that Einstein was right.
And what did he say?
He said that there were gravitational waves in the universe and that you could hear them. And of course...
How would he know that?
Mathematical genius.
He was.
He was a mathematical genius. Physicists say they've directly detected ripples in space-time, which is so weird sounding, called gravitational waves. So It's like a chirp, I guess. They announced today they heard and recorded the sound of two black holes colliding 1 billion light years away. I don't even know how they measure that.
My word.
A fleeting chirp that fulfilled Einstein's general theory of relativity.
So two black holes collided.
Yeah, he predicted this about a century ago. Bottomless gravitational pits from which not even light can escape. That's what the black holes are.
What are those? Where do they go?
How did they start?
If they're bottomless.
I know. How do you...
Are we looking at the beginning of a black hole or at the end of a black hole? There's a question.
Exactly, and they may or may not have an answer on this. I mean, for them, it's a major
break. What do black holes sound like?
Yeah.
Colliding.
Yeah. We'll have to try to get that sound for you.
If I get that over here.
Yes, we'll get that over there. So they've been looking for it. I mean, there's three physicists that's been their career. They bet their careers on this dream of measuring the Einstein's notions. So
my goodness.
I mean, time, space, time. That's what I hear when I watch Star Trek, not what I hear from reality, scientists.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is extraordinary.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. So those deep thinkers, those guys that have their minds out in the universe, it's beyond my comprehension. Space is just beyond my comprehension. I can only go so far with getting it, and then they go out beyond that, and I'm like, no end, no beginning, not just this stuff flying different directions, and we're exploding and getting farther apart, and I'm like,
it is. It's crazy. It's hard to wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, it is. Truly is. Pretty crazy. Closer to home.
Yeah.
We'll do some Northwest headlines.
All right, that sounds
Get people
good.
up to speed on what's happening a little closer than the black holes that are out there fighting over space, deep space, very, very deep space.
So we had a special election, which is quite close to home.
Yes.
On Tuesday, and we can talk about the results when we come back.
Yeah, some changes, good changes from that.
Yes.
It's 8:20 on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
If you're looking for a new venue to watch your favorite sports, come check out the El Serape Cantina. Take in the classy Day of the Dead ambiance and enjoy your favorite sports on the large projector screen or 4K Ultra HD TVs. Warm up by the fire or shoot some pool on the beautifully crafted pool tables. Join the Cantina for Dollar Taco Tuesdays and bring out your inner rock star on Karaoke Wednesdays. With so much to offer, the Cantina is the place to be. Located on Railroad in downtown Shelton, right next to the El Serape restaurant.
ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Indeed, 8:21 on Daybreak. Digging into black holes here this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Way out in space, and I think this is just spooky music to get you in the mood here. 2 detectors that sense very tiny vibrations. Why does it matter if we find them? We've been searching for these waves for decades. That would help us to understand the fundamental laws of the universe. It would be a big part of proving Einstein's general theory of relativity. And they could also give us new insight into cosmic events. Waves from the Big Bang would even tell us how the universe was created.
We are still gonna.
Gravitational waves have been detected. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting.
It is. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now you've been initiated, folks. And I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that's good. That was good.
Yeah. Closer to home, with some waves happening, we're going to have a Democratic presidential primary debate tonight.
Well, there'll be planets colliding there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard to say. It's going to be online on the radio. I don't think it's going to be on. Is it going to be on TV? It's
public service.
NPR is going to have it.
NPR is going to host it.
Yeah.
And it looks like CNN, politics.com. They're just opting on things to watch for the.
Yeah.
And then it's the 2 Democratic candidates. Saturday, the 6 remaining Republican candidates is Carly Fiorina and Chris Christie. Both have stepped down from presidential consideration.
So the pool is getting smaller.
It's down to 6.
Yeah.
There was talk that Fiorini may not have made the dais for this next one on Saturday anyway.
Yeah. Well, she didn't get the one before, so
right.
After a while, you just sort of got to give it up. So.
Well, and I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll the next 2 primaries that are going on, South Carolina and Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the Nevada one is done, we'll probably be down to maybe 4 candidates for the Republicans. And you got to start making some sense of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were up around 13, it was crazy.
Oh, it was. It
wasn't fair to any of them.
No, it wasn't fair because you had the little kids table and the big kids table.
Yeah,
and I just didn't like that at all.
Which was a stigmatization.
Yeah.
And they should have probably randomly selected the groupings maybe and split it in half.
Or just put everybody up there.
Yeah.
Just had a big, huge stage, and then they could hopefully realize amongst themselves who wasn't really, answering the questions correctly or how silly it was. I mean, anybody should be able to run for president. That is true. That's what our country's built on.
You betcha.
So I think picking who could be up there, and that's always been a problem with the media.
Is that billionaire Bloomberg? He wants to run as an independent, maybe?
Yeah.
See, so.
Yeah, so, I
don't know how much that would impact the individual parties, because he was a Democrat, then he became a Republican, and now he's declaring an independent.
Yeah.
So he may take votes from both sides.
Yeah, he may.
If he jumps into this thing. Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Trump and Bernie and Bloomberg all battling it out here on national TV. That would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I mean, Bloomberg's kind of an insider because he's a politician.
Mm-hmm. They're all insiders.
They're all insiders.
I mean,
they are all insiders.
Trump's an insider just because he's so rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's brokered deals with governments.
Yes, with nations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't tell me that you're not an insider when you are. Obviously, all of them are. So there's no common man up there, Dale.
It's just
when I say man, I mean male or female. Yeah, no common person.
And so November is the election.
Mm-hmm. No, it seems like it already happened because it's been years that we've been doing this already.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Democratic debate will be tonight on local PBS stations. Unfortunately, we won't be able to, I don't think we're going to be able to air that one tonight.
No, we didn't get that one on the radio, but we do have the Saturday one.
Yes, we do have this.
For Gonzaga basketball.
Yes, and that is, it's going to be in Greenville, South Carolina, but the time, it's going to be 6-ish, I think.
Yeah, our time.
Yeah, our time. So we'll have that
and
up
we
on
got
the
basketball
website.
about 8. So depending, we may have to leave in mid-debate or something.
Yeah, we'll
got
see
our
if they get
priorities.
finished. Yeah.
They'll still be talking after the game's over, so we really won't miss anything at all.
They probably will be.
Oh, most crazy. So we're waiting 8:27 here. A little break coming up with news with Mary Lynn Foster. And we'll be back with our sports and our weather. We'll be we're hanging in here a little bit now for Karen Shade, who sometimes calls after the news starts.
Sometimes she does.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. We're flexible. It'll work. Whatever works for her works for us. It is Thursday, and we do have Steve Goins coming in studio with us in just a little while to focus on Shelton, and we're looking forward to that. That is for sure. Also, we might throw at you a few of the headlines that we've been chasing about here this morning, though not a lot of new earth-shattering news over the night.
Yeah.
There was a tree down on Highway 101 up in the Hoodsport, Lilliwap area, and it did impact residents up there. There was a couple of flickers and a power outage for about an hour or so last night.
PUD1 had that tweeted.
Yeah, they were on it.
Then it was already done by the time it came into work this morning.
Yeah, oil was with, so we're in that service area. So it happened around 6-ish, and everything was normal really by 8 o'clock. Although we did note that there was another flicker around midnight last night. I don't know for how long or how much impact that had. My alarm went off that it's okay, so because it went off for a long time before, so they have 2 alarms on my clock radio. I didn't reset one of them, so it defaulted to midnight. So at midnight, my alarm went off.
Okay.
Was not happy about that. Time I got stumbling around, and it's the alarm I don't normally use. Hit buttons in the dark, and rolled over, and then 4 a.m. came real quick.
I know. I wake up like at midnight. I'm like, I still have 3 hours.
Yeah.
3.5 hours.
But you're happy you get to sleep.
Yeah. I'm like, yay, I get to sleep more. So we did have Carl Dennison from PUD #1 come in on Tuesday. We have that interview on our website.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So speaking of PUD1.
Yes.
Mentioned that.
He's a commissioner there.
Yep.
Another PUD1 commissioner is Jack Janda, who called Jerry and I to let us know our power was out at home.
When you were there?
No, we weren't home. We were working our way home. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the dark.
Yeah. But thanks for calling.
Yeah.
8:30. Good morning. Daybreak. Jeff and
you're listening to
Dale,
Daybreak
Karen,
on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com 427-4489.
All right, before we get to the news, let's go to the phones and talk to Karen Shade.
Well, good morning, Dale. You have Sherry this morning.
I have Sherry this morning.
Good morning, Carol.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, thank you for calling in, Sherry. I'm glad somebody called. So Karen is busy getting ready for the dessert auction. She's out of town.
She's out and busy, and we will see you tomorrow, Dale.
Yes. Yes, you will.
It's a good cause.
Oh, and it's exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Have you been to one before, Sherry?
No, this will be my first.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and so I hope you bring your sweet tooth with you.
I will, and money.
And money. Good girl. Good girl. Speaking of money, what's Wall Street doing this morning?
Well, this morning the U.S. stocks are sharply lower this morning, joining global markets as investors continue to worry that global growth will keep slowing. In economic news, the U.S. jobless claims fell as both the initial and continuing claims were lower than expected. In earning news, Energy fell below fourth quarter expectations and announced that they are reducing their dividend by almost 70%. The U.S. bond prices are higher as investors look for less risk in the equity markets. So far this morning in the S&P 500, the best sector is telecom and the worst is financials. The Dow Jones Industrial is down 318.25 at 15,596. The Standard & Poor's 500 index is down 30.30 at 1,821. The NASDAQ index is down 59.42 at 4,224. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is high with about 334.52 million shares traded. Decliners are outnumbering advancers by roughly a 6-to-1 margin. In commodity markets, gold is up at $49.63 to $1,246.75. Silver is up 44 cents to $15.72, and oil prices are down $1.06 to $26.39. In bond markets, the 30-year Treasury is currently at 2.42%, and the 10-year is at 1.57%. In local stocks, we have Amazon that is up $1.83. Costco is down $2.68. Boeing is down $12. Starbucks is down $1.02. Microsoft is down 75 cents. This is Sherry at Edward Jones, a member of the SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. We can be reached at 1051 Southeast State Route 3, Suite E in Shelton, or you can call us at 426-4590. Have a great day, everybody, and Dale, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye, Sherry.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. It could take more than 2 years before a cleanup of the C Street landfill site begins. That's what Jason Lansgren, State Department of Ecology cleanup project manager for the C Street site, told attendees at an informational meeting Tuesday night. He added that if contamination is found outside of the 16.7-acre landfill boundaries, that would add time to the already complicated data gathering process. The State Department of Ecology completed an assessment of the site in 2014, which led to the landfill being selected for a cleanup. The comment period for the Ecology Project's order and public participation plan started Monday and continues until March 9th. Written public comments were accepted at the meeting and can be sent to Lansgren. Find his contact information with this story on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. Mason County Public Works representatives have scheduled a community meeting to get public comments about a proposed speed limit change on Pickering Road. The meeting starts at 6 this evening at the Central Mason Fire Station at 1740 East Pickering Road. A recent petition from area residents asked to increase the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour between State Route 3 and East Pine Tree Cove Road. There are fewer homes available for buyers in Mason County. Dawn Pennell, a broker for John L. Scott, said Mason County currently has 341 single-family units for sale. Inventory is down 20.8% from the first quarter of last year. She'll be on the Daybreak show tomorrow for her biweekly program, Radio Real Estate. The 8th annual Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction to benefit your United Way of Mason County is set for tomorrow in Shelton. The fundraiser runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Shelton Civic Center. The Valentine's Dessert Auction is UWMC's biggest fundraiser, featuring the swift sale of sweet treats. Executive Director Carrie Lemon told Daybreak how the money raised is used.
So it goes into our community fund, and then that is decided by the individuals in the community. 35 on a panel decide where the money goes, and that is actually coming up for the applications are going to be due. So we're now accepting them for any nonprofit, school, government can apply for funds through United Way. That's a 2-year cycle. Those are on our website right now, and they're due March 31st. So that's the money goes into a pot that's then decided on which programs best support the goals of United Way of Mason County and our community, and those are the ones that are funded.
Tickets are available before the event for $20. At the door, they're $25. You can learn more on the United Way's website, unitedwaymasonco.org. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
A
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done, and your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing, 868-2730.
Take control of your money. Start by listening to The Dave Ramsey Show.
See, as long as something is specific and measurable and you give it a time limit, immediately sixth grade math kicks in and you can do the division, long division. Say, I want to make $100,000 this year. Great. How much is that a month? $8,300. Do you sell for a living? If you're on commission, you can divide that out, know exactly what you need to sell in order to make your $2,100 a week, which is $100,000 a year. You need to divide out what it takes to get where you want to go.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Kobe visits LeBron for the final time. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. Wednesday night saw LeBron James and the Cavaliers play host to Kobe Bryant for the final time in Bryant's storied career. And James had no intention of sending Kobe off with a win.
Here comes LeBron. The Cavs have numbers. LeBron goes all the way, lays it up, lays it in, gets fouled by Randall. And LeBron has given the Cavaliers an 82-62 lead.
On WTAM, as LeBron's 29 points helped the Cavs down the Lakers 120-111. Kobe finished with 17. Kyrie Irving had 35 for Cleveland. LeBron and Kobe will face off for the final time on March 10th. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson and the Warriors keep on making history.
Bounce pass by Booker, stolen by Klay Thompson, who's checked back in. Klay with the dribble front court. Nobody stops him, and he'll just take a three and knock it down.
On KNBR, as Golden State now has the best record in NBA history through 52 games at 48-4. They were 112-104 winners over Phoenix. Staying in the association, the Spurs entered the All-Star break in style.
Down to 5 seconds. Kawhi Leonard will start to make a move. Pulls up from 21 feet. That shot is good. Kawhi Leonard nails it with 9/10 of a second left in the game.
On WOAI, as that Kawhi Leonard shot gave the Spurs a 98-96 win over the Magic. In college basketball, it was deja vu all over again for number 14 Iowa State when they visited Texas Tech.
10 seconds to go. Down 3. Thomas got it off, missed it. Smith the rebound. And for the second straight year, Texas Tech upsets Iowa State in Lubbock.
On ESPN, as the Red Raiders held on for an 85-82 victory. NFL news, warrants are expected soon in the incident involving Bills running back LaShawn McCoy. McCoy reportedly assaulted 2 off-duty police officers in a Philadelphia nightclub last weekend. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, I'm Dale Hubbard with the Check on Sports Notes, and we've got lots of them for you, including action for the Shelton Lady High Climbers, who are in playoff action for the first time in 7 to 11 years. I'm a little vague on my history there, but it's been a long, long time since they made it to the playoffs. So best of luck to them tonight. 7 o'clock tip-off at the Auburn Mountain View. Lions is who they're taking on. So good luck to the Lady Climbers. Lots of action coming up. Friday, the Lady Wrestlers and diving team will be in action. Swimmers this weekend, and the boys wrestling team all heading for district playoff action and hopefully a berth in the state tournament. Also, last night there was a playoff action, and 2A West Central Sea King District playoffs. River Ridge with the win over Kingston. 3A West Central Southwest District play North Thurston defeated Auburn Riverside. 4A action, West Central District 3, the Ole Bears with a win over Todd Beamer. Puyallup beat South Kitsap. Timberline with a win over Thomas Jefferson. Tonight on the radio, Gonzaga Bulldogs taking on the Portland Pilots, and we'll have a game for you at 7 tonight. And then St. Mary's, a big test on the road for Gonzaga coming up on Saturday night. We'll have that game as well. That's sports, and now here's Carol Gardner with a check on our weather forecast.
Good morning. It's 45. There's some light rain now, turning into rain showers later this morning and becoming a more steady rain this afternoon, continuing through the evening and the next several days. Right now, it's 45.
Again, you stopped. You got done with that forecast. I know.
We got guests coming in the studio.
Rain.
I got to get going.
Rain, go away, come again another day.
How many ways can you say rain?
Okay. Here's one.
Now, from the iFIBER radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports.
What?
Were you going to sing it yourself?
I guess so.
Huh.
All right. We're going to just take a quick pause to go get our guests out in the lobby.
All right.
And we'll be right back with Steve Goins and the sounds of black holes colliding.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Put high rates on the chopping block. We're cooking up a deal at our community credit union with 1% cash back and no payments for 90 days. If you have an auto, boat, RV, personal, or any other type of consumer loan, feast on this. For a limited time, we'll treat you to 1% cash back instantly when you move your loan to our community credit union. Don't wait. Apply online at ourcu.com or visit a branch location: Shelton, Union, McClary, Elma, Montesano, or Vashon.
Having a new baby this year? If you just got the exciting news, Mountain View Women's Health has some more good news for you. The best prenatal and delivery care you could ask for is close to home and family. Mountain View Women's Health and the Birth Center at Mason General Hospital offer excellent care to make your prenatal and birth experience wonderful. Among the many great features is the personalized birthing plan that includes your choice of pain management, from epidural to natural birth. For more information, call Mountain View Women's Health at 426-0955.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Understanding your finances is a key to a strong financial future. Don't be the one who gets left behind. Visit feedthepig.org for tools and tips to get started on the path to financial stability. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
It's all about you, Steve. 8:44. You're right in the way of the clock. I got another one here. 8:44. It is Daybreak. Dale Hubbard in for Jeff Slakey, Carol Gardner in her stead, and as our viewers can see, Steve Goins from the City of Shelton, the Community Development Director for the City of Shelton. Hi, Steve. Well, top of the morning to you here. Let me give you a microphone so people can hear you. Hi.
Can they hear me now?
Now you're loud and clear.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Welcome. And we talked about two black holes colliding and proving Einstein's theory. What was that theory?
Of relativity.
Yes. So we're going to play 12 seconds.
Okay.
This is two black holes colliding. We promised it earlier to our audience. Okay. We got to deliver. Okay. God knows how long it'll take to talk to you, so we don't want to lose this opportunity. Here it is. Shh. That's the noise.
Huh.
Well, kind of weird.
How could they even decipher that noise out of anything else?
That's space noise.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I guess somebody can figure that out. I don't know.
Yeah. This sounds like microphone feedback to me.
Yeah.
I've heard that noise setting up stage bands for years.
That ringing in my ears, I didn't know.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, that was two black holes colliding. The band and the manager.
Yeah. We were experiencing it and we didn't even know it.
Well, at least now I have gone to that place before. So
yes.
All right, Steve. The abatement issue is a big time. The city's been in the news a lot lately, but one of the good things is to take some steps forward to help clean up some of these homes that are in disrepair.
Right.
And this is really an important topic, isn't it?
Well, I think it's important to the community. It seems that in the past few years, there's been an increase in the number of properties that have just been poorly managed or not managed at all. And the city's tried to get more proactive in ways to address that. And, you know, there's a spectrum there of sorts. Some people are simply maybe throwing a few bags of trash in the yard, and other people have let their house go for years. And it becomes a attractive nuisance. It becomes a place where maybe, as Father Joe used to say, untoward behaviors would occur, becomes unsafe. That garbage is attracting rats, and now you have vectors and other things that are affecting your neighborhood. And so, we've tried to find ways to deal with that, and we're having some success with that. Our abatement program has taken some of the most severe cases, and the city's initiated demolition of certain houses. In other cases, we've been able to convince a property owner to manage their property better, which might include remodeling it, might include demolishing whatever's on there and selling the lot for future development. And I think we're north of 20 of those cases since I believe 2012 is when we started doing this. We've seen a lot of change in some properties as a result of this sort of a different approach.
Talk to me a little bit about the reaction you get. And I know it's got to be varied from home to home, but some of these homes are not occupied. They've been vacant, or there's squatters in there and that sort of thing. What about the ones that are occupied that fall under this abatement ruling? What's the reaction to them? Is it all individual, or?
Well, yeah, it's different. And our first approach, we try to just let people know there's a concern and give them an opportunity to do the right thing.
Right.
And in most cases, that does happen. You do have cases where property owners either ignore you, or maybe they don't have the resources to deal with it. There's different reasons for that. But when it becomes apparent that the property owner or the responsible party is not going to deal with, that's when we take these more severe approaches. And part of that depends on the integrity of the building, what your approach is. Some buildings are just in need of kind of a makeover and some cleanup. Other buildings have, the roof is failing. Maybe there's windows out. There's a lot of moisture in the building. It's getting black mold, and the floors are failing. So it could be any number of things that are happening there. So in those severe cases, we usually give people sort of one last chance to get things right. We're not looking to demolish your property and then lien your property, but if that's the only recourse we have, we'll take it. There's a line you have to, I think, identify where the property rights of some individual doesn't trump the quality of life of the neighbors and their effect on their health and their well-being.
So what about sellability of their homes too, if they're adjacent or nearby?
That's been we've observed that problem. You may recall a couple of years ago, we demolished a house on Washington Street. All of the properties around that house were for sale, and they couldn't sell them because people would come and look at them. They'd see this derelict house, and I'm not investing here, and walk away. And they were all being held hostage of sorts by this owner who was just neglecting their property.
So what if an owner has walked away from the property and then goes back to the bank? So do you had to deal with any of the banks with any of the properties?
Yeah, the banks are their own category of sorts. Some banks, hire maintenance companies and try to keep the lawn mowed. Try to keep the building secure and do the right thing. They see an asset and they're not trying to allow that to further disintegrate. Other banks are a little tougher to deal with. They sort of have that, turn a blind eye to some of these properties out there. But generally speaking, banks are a little easier to work with. At least you can really contact someone who's responsible. Sometimes these properties, it's tough to find who that responsible party is when it's under private ownership. The bank properties, usually they're looking to try to do something to turn the bank, to sell the property. They might be selling it at a pre-reduced cost, but they don't want people getting in there and stealing the appliances and wreaking havoc.
The cooperative, well, I guess the cost of this whole thing ultimately goes with the responsible party. Is that fair to say? The program, as we've set it up, we when we have to do the demolition or whatever abatement has to occur, we keep track of what those costs are. We lien the property for those costs, and in some cases we've been able to recoup those costs through a foreclosure at a tax sale. Properties have came up for
tax foreclosure, the liens attached to that, and we acquire the property and basically get our money back. So it's sort of a revolving fund of the way that's set up. This year's budget didn't include additional monies for abatement, but we had some monies from last year's budget that were left over. So we're hoping that we can find enough money to kind of keep that program going. That's the goal.
And I guess, that's the thing. I mean, it's and it's never, you don't get the money right away. Usually you got to kind of float that expense for a while and carry that. And then some of the homeowners that don't have banks involved or whatever, like you say, their resources may not allow them to do the improvements that you've suggested. And then, so are we at a loggerheads there, or do you go forward with it and work out a payment? You don't finance or take care of a homeowner that has limited resources.
In a case where there's not a dangerous structure, but maybe the property is just a big mess.
Right. Right. Okay.
Our approach is to get them in front of a judge, and you can tell a judge why you can't clean up your property, and usually the judge isn't very sympathetic to whatever their reasons are, and we'll give them a certain amount of time to get their act together. We sometimes don't have that ability to have that conversation, but if you're facing jail time, if you don't do something, usually you find a way.
When you mentioned 20 properties, Carol, if you got a question, jump in here.
Yeah, I was gonna just say, are you moving forward with a lot more lately? I mean, is it happening more now that you're going to try to get these properties because you have the funds to be able to do this, or why is it in the news now, or is it just?
Well, I think it's in the news now because of two things. We had a couple pretty serious cases we took action on. I think that a lot of the neighbors were pretty happy about. I think they got a lot of Facebook activity. And then there's a private party that did some cleanup down on Park Street over the weekend that I think has also gotten a lot of attention. And that was a different form of a violation, if you will. It's just a lot of litter, a lot of trash on property that's just been left behind that this property owner or this resident took it upon themselves to clean up.
Yeah.
We weren't involved in that. We don't advocate going on someone else's property for those kind of purposes, but we know people do. And I think a lot of people liked seeing that cleanup occur.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's a fine line there. That's a little bit like on the outlaw side of things, because they're just going ahead and taking it upon themselves. But I think the frustration comes because of the slow machinations of government sometimes to get a simple thing like across the street, there's a lot of garbage. What can I do to get that picked up? How can I change
in
that?
the government's case, there's a gift of public funds issue that we have to be careful about too. We simply can't go in and clean up somebody's property with public money.
Right.
That's something they should be doing. On the other hand, if these residences have a target area and they ask the property owner, hey, can we come up and clean up the property? And that's sort of a handshake agreement between two parties.
Oh, yeah, that's
Have
fine.
a good day.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Well, they have designs on doing some cleanup on the entrance into the city this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Now, is the city planning on preventing that from happening? Or is there any plans or any consideration at all about what may or may not happen this Saturday as far as the city is concerned?
No, that's really a civil matter anyway. We really wouldn't have a place to be there.
All right, very good.
But those kind of activities I think have happened lately, and that's, I think, causing a lot of focus on this right now.
The orange tagged homes and properties, those are the serious ones.
Yeah.
How many of those do we have currently in the city limits?
Probably no more than 10.
That's still a considerable number.
Yeah, it's a considerable number. Some of those abatements are pretty expensive, and that's mainly why there hasn't been a more quick resolution to some of these. But in the meantime, what we try to do is keep those secure, keep people out of them. In most cases, the building's unsafe. There's a lot of reasons why people shouldn't be in there, and we're doing this for their safety as well as maybe children who maybe don't know better, that kind of thing. So if we can just keep people out of there until something, some funding source is identified, or we finally reach a resolution with the property owner, then abatement can occur.
In the last 5 years, has there been more need for abatement issues to be addressed, or has it stayed relatively the same?
From my casual observation, it's really something that's been on a significant rise. I'm not sure I can tell you why that's occurring, but there seems to be an increase in the number of properties where there's just a lot of nuisance issues in the yard. The housing stock is getting older, and I think that's contributing to some of the structures that we're seeing there getting on the list.
Right.
Maybe someone that's lived in a house for 30 or 40 years passes, their kids inherit this property and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they may not even be living anywhere near the area.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got about a minute left here before we have to bail out. So where do we go? If people have an issue, maybe with, or maybe not an issue, but just an observance, or want to make something aware for the city, how do they go about that?
Yeah, please give the community development a call. We'd like to know about a problem that you're having in your neighborhood. It may not be something we can get right on that day or that week, but getting in on our list is very helpful. And we try to prioritize those. If it's a significant health issue, we're gonna pay attention and try to get resolution to it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Taking the bullets.
Well, yeah, it's not work we enjoy doing, but it's important work.
Sure, absolutely. We'll come back and visit again.
Will do.
Okay.
Thanks.
We love having you on the air. It's great. Steve Goins, the Community Development Director for the City of Shelton, and our focus on Shelton this Thursday and every Thursday brought to us by our Community Credit Union. We want to thank them for that. Steve, thank you for coming in.
Thanks again.
Carol, thank you for coming in this morning.
Dale, thank you for coming in this morning.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, we'll do it again tomorrow.
What time do you guys come in?
5-ish. Yeah. The morning show used to start at 5, and that meant like a 4 o'clock arrival. And when I bought the station, I put the kibosh on that. That's insane. That's crazy talk. But there are, I got to admit, at 5 o'clock, you'd be shocked how much traffic there is out there. Yeah. Truly is a lot of good early risers. I stopped singing the blues right away when I saw all the other people that were sharing my time of day there. And they were going, a lot of trucks out there, people working.
Got a place to go.
Yeah, it's just crazy. All right, we got to make way. Coming up will be, who's next? Tom
Hartman.
Tom Hartman.
Yes.
Then Dave Ramsey. And then Chad. Chad. And we've got Gonzaga basketball for everybody tonight. Don't forget, please remember, go Zags. Good luck for the Lady High Climbers.
Yes, good luck on that.
And we resume Daybreak again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Have a wonderful Thursday. Stay dry.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.